The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This week in Nude Clan, Fallout 4, Epic Wasteland or Epic Waste of Time. Stay tuned.
Shall we play a game?
Player to another. Dark soul light. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the Nude Clan.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. I am Joe.
This is Cameron.
And Kaleb.
And Kaleb Craig.
That's really confusing.
Should I just go by Schweiss? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. People will get it, right?
Yeah,
All
they
right.
can probably tell from our voices, right?
All right, so what are we going to be talking about this week?
This week, we got a Fallout 4 review. Our very first video game review from Cameron and Kaleb Craig. But before we get to that, what, besides, of course, you, Kaleb, or Cameron, playing Fallout 4, what's everybody been playing lately?
I just beat the Order 1886, and,
Oh, yeah, you just took out 2 hours of your day.
How was the Order 1885 in comparison?
I didn't really get a chance to play the Order 1885.
Oh.
Mostly because it doesn't exist yet.
Oh.
What? So that's a problem.
They just skipped to 1886.
I know that
strange...
you think that they would just put out the first 1885 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
So what is this game?
It's a game where it's a shooter where you take on the role of Sir Galahad, who is a member of the secret order of knights.
In 1886?
In 1886, and they have some weird, highly advanced weapons that Nikola Tesla developed for them. It's pretty interesting, actually.
So none of these timelines make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, it's a fairly decent game. $20,
Yeah. I've heard a lot of naysaying on that game.
Yeah, so have I.
There was, but I found it to be fairly good, actually. Okay. On my playthrough of it, and it's only 7 hours, so.
It's a 7-hour game?
It's only 7 hours.
Why the heck aren't we reviewing that next time?
I don't know.
You could. I mean, I didn't really go into any depth.
We've already made our decision on what we're reviewing, though.
That's true.
Another 7-hour game.
Nah, we can't say shh, because when we answer what we've been playing, it's obviously going to be Diablo.
Yeah, is that what you've been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing some Diablo.
Oh.
I did have computer problems, which were fixed. Cameron did find where to plug the fan of my computer that was not going, which was, of course, the reason why my computer kept overheating.
Dangling cord there off of his fan. Hey, maybe if you plug this in, your computer stop overheating.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so the Diablo is now working, and I'm excited to play some Diablo. I've gone a full 2 levels deep.
Oh wow!
In the 16 level dungeon.
How deep have you gone? How deep do you want to go?
Just the tip.
It's just as deep as he could.
As deep as I could right now with the experience I have.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the pouch.
That's the extent of his reach right now. So
yeah. Once I lose a little bit of weight, who knows?
I've also, for the other podcast, by the way, Ultima Final Fantasy, I've been playing Final Fantasy IV Interlude, which is so far just like Final Fantasy IV, so there's really no complaints.
Well, you think,
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, we need to edit our intro, and I need to add a streaming schedule for that. I totally forgot to do that earlier today, yeah. So anyway, what have you been playing, Cameron?
Well, I've been playing one game exclusively so far, and that is Fallout 4.
The one game ever? Is that what you're saying?
Just one game since this podcast started.
Oh.
Uno game. Uno game des.
Very impressive.
I think
3 languages.
Wow, you don't see that in normal conversation.
No, you don't.
Normally it's heard.
Unless you're a Hispanic American living in Japan.
I don't think you'd hear that even then. That would be a rare circumstance.
It would be, I understand.
All right, so only Fallout 4 for you. Nothing else,
Right.
huh?
Well, so originally, I know we talked about this, the previous podcast that we sent out, that we had one member who won't be named kind of drop out.
Yes.
And he was originally supposed to be the other person to review this game, but he dropped out within 2 weeks of this podcast needed to come out. So what I did is I borrowed Fallout 4 from Kaleb and beat it in 2 weeks.
Okay, so you've just been plowing through.
I've been plowing through and
All right.
only main storylines, so I feel like I might have a few holes in my experiences compared to yours.
Tell us about
but-
your holes.
Well, they might be gaping.
Some people
they might be gaping at this
Some
point.
people might be interested in your holes.
How many holes do you have?
See, I don't even know how many holes I have.
Is the
that's
back
my
of the knee
experience.
legitimate or no?
What?
Obviously, Joe doesn't watch Family Guy.
No, he does not.
All right, so Fallout 4 for you.
Because I have a brain.
Dude, you laugh at every episode we show you.
Do I laugh throughout the whole episode?
Sometimes.
Oh, fucking bullshit.
Star Wars
Here's the
ones
thing:
you do.
the more I laugh at it, the more brain cells go away,
Yeah.
and so I gotta pick and choose. Like
And yet you watch Kung Pao. Literally the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my
Dude,
life.
Kung Pao is pretty funny.
Kung
No.
Pao is a
Kung
genius
Pao
movie.
is garbage.
You didn't watch the Japanese movies I watched when I was a kid, and that's really it's making fun of badly dubbed movies.
Right, it's doing a bad job of making
It's
fun
doing
of bad
a
dubbed.
wonderful
Dude,
job
it's like,
of making fun of bad dubbed
it's pretty
movies.
perfect.
Look, there's a reason why it has a trash rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's because critics didn't get it, because the critics were being all snobby watching their snobby movies, and
Oh,
we're watching,
right, the critics
and they
didn't
were
get
not
it.
watching schlock like I was watching. Okay,
well,
that's why. That's why they don't appreciate it.
I just think it sucks. That's why they don't appreciate
I
it.
think you can go fuck yourself.
I bet you do. I bet you'd like that a lot, wouldn't you?
I bet you
Yeah.
he will later
Hey,
on.
could you make sure just take some video so I can look at it later?
Yeah,
Okay.
give you something. I knew looking up logo ideas for this would bring you back around full circle.
Can we talk about our logo problems?
As soon
Please do.
as I talk about the game I've been playing lately.
Okay,
what
what's
have
the
you been
game
playing?
you've been
I
playing?
don't care. That's
Also
fine.
Diablo. Also
Nothing else?
Diablo. No, not well. I've been playing a little bit of Interlude, but I'm going to restart it because I want to stream the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because our audience for Ultimate Final Fantasy really enjoys the streaming. They enjoy the little community of like 7 people that show up.
So why haven't you been streaming Diablo?
This is still
We
kind of
didn't-
under wraps, so
We didn't set up the Nude Clan streaming account yet.
it's set up.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
Nude Clan Gaming.
Then why not?
So twitch.tv/Nude Clan Gaming?
I believe so.
Where else can they find us, by the way?
At Nude Clan Gaming or Nude Clan Podcast.
Is
for
it
our
Nude
Twitter.
Clan Podcast for Twitter?
Fuck. I don't know. I have a sheet.
Well, we just barely set
Okay,
it up.
all right.
so-
I can look. I can talk about other stuff while you figure what that is.
No. I want to talk about my Diablo. So I am
About
not
your
on
fucking Diablo.
I am
We're gonna
not
talk
on
about
level
Diablo
2.
for later on.
I am not on level 2. I've got to level 17. And
I thought
I'm
it was 16.
16, I think. Yeah, it's the
There's
final.
only 16 levels.
It's the final level
Ooh, he's
in the
super
game.
deep.
Yeah, I'm balls deep, as they say in Diablo.
Can I tell you?
Spicy senor.
Okay, I was at a Halo party once, and there was this dude with his girlfriend, and someone had said balls deep. Like, someone said that phrase, right? Just going balls deep. We were out.
Fantastic.
We were like sledding in between the Halo party because there was a bunch of snow and there was a big hill, whatever. I can't remember who went balls deep, but someone went balls deep, and someone said, "Wow, you're going balls deep." And his girlfriend goes, "You know, balls deep really isn't that deep."
Zing!
Oh, the boyfriend must have been so ashamed.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, that's I don't think she meant it that way. And I'm not sure how many people, like, there really
Understood.
heard what I heard.
Oh, she meant. She knew what she meant.
Yeah.
It was a put down for the century.
Oh, it was beautiful though.
Oh, the feels hurt.
That's pretty good.
All right, tell us how balls deep you are again.
Yeah, I'm on level 16, and I just beat Lazarus, and I'm just trying to clear the rest of the floor. And the last thing after that is of course the Diablo fight himself. And I don't know, it's been going pretty well. I tried to do the glass cannon like I talked about last time, where I just do pure damage, but that fell off, and I started taking way too much damage. So I had to abandon my two-handed axe and go with a sword and shield, and that's been a lot better for me. So. I don't know. It's still pretty fun.
I can't believe you've been playing that. I honestly was like, is he even playing? Like in my head through the week, I was like, has Kaleb even been doing anything?
Oh, that's what
I
he's
wasn't
been doing.
sure. Well,
he hasn't been
because
doing anything else.
Kaleb's been busy with other stuff in his life, and so I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was doing the games or not yet.
No, I've been getting ahead. All week. All week I've been getting ahead in Diablo.
It's just that he's been balls deep in his week.
Yeah, balls deep in my week.
Getting ahead, balls deep.
Getting ahead, yeah.
That's just that's very good for you.
Yeah, no, it's good to be it's good to be ahead. You know? And plus we haven't really done Final Fantasy because we have this big 2-part review for Final Fantasy 14, and then
four part review.
You're right. The last 2 came out recently though. We're just finishing up the editing on one of them, and that's given me time. I mean, I don't want to start the stream yet for After Years and Interlude until we get done with everything with 14, and I figure, well, I got time now, so every spare moment that I'm not watching the movie for my 366, I'm playing Diablo if I can.
And we'll of course talk about all of our New Year's resolutions and our continuing success or failure of that later on in the podcast. So where can they find us? Nudeclan.net, correct?
Yes.
All right. What's our official stuff, Schweiss?
It's at Nude Clan is where you can follow us.
At Nude Clan. Okay,
yes,
that's easy.
Facebook.com/Nude Clan Podcast, and it's NEWD because they don't let us put nude, NUDE, because Facebook is a bunch of
URLs.
fucks.
Yeah, they are a bunch of fucks.
Sensitive asshole.
Well, we've had some troubles having even just the nude gamer tag. Sometimes they do gamer tag ban.
They would just remove it.
Yeah, just remove it off you every now and then. You just well, you fucks, and put it back on.
Yeah, right. Take that. You can't
Dude, they
stop
still haven't removed. We have a team on League of Legends.
The Mighty Clits.
It's the Mighty Clits.
CLITZ. It's awesome. Still there.
They don't
still
catch it because of
unclaimed.
the Z.
They just don't care, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Or the
You think
the
they would care if we went pro? They would
FUQUERS.
be everywhere.
They would definitely care if we went pro. But let me tell you something. We're never going pro.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
Bronze 4. Woo!
Welcome to the table of average gamers.
Yeah.
All right. Where else can they find us? Oh, they can find me at Joseph DeGollier. That's DEGOLYER, and Joseph spelled the normal way for you non-stupid people out there. I always have this problem where they're like, "How do you spell Joseph?" I'm like, "What are you, fucking idiot?"
Well, it's
J-O-E.
Joseph.
Like,
Spell the same.
I'm not.
No,
like,
it's not.
What about Josep?
But they do
Just drop the H.
They do the JOESEPH. Yeah. It's retarded.
What about you, Cameron? Where can we find you?
You can find me wherever you look.
At my house.
Wherever you look.
I don't have my Twitter yet set up. I know I'm lagging on that. But as soon as I do,
Just
you can
checking
follow
my
me
followers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week you'll have something.
Next week I might actually do something.
All right. Yeah, you can follow me at UFF Podcast. That's for the Ultima Final Fantasy. And
Schweiss.
And me.
He's the one who runs it anyway, so might as well just talk to him on
I'll
there.
just take it.
Well, he was going to set up a new one,
likes
but
to
it's
take
like, well, why would you have multiple Twitter accounts?
Yeah, the problem is like checking each of them periodically.
That would be
like
the problem.
it's-
You'd have one that would be lacking.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Kaleb Craig's at Obsidian something?
Obsidian Bar, yeah.
You know what?
Can you spell that for us?
BAH.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obsidian BAH.
Yep. Obsidian Bar.
All right, sweet.
Obsidian Okay, now let's talk about that stupid logo thing. All right, so we were having trouble coming up with logos for the show. Actually, yeah, all right. Our initial thing months ago when we decided that we were going to do this show someday was that we were going to have all the hosts in a row naked with a controller in front of their crotch. And we realized
That was probably a bad idea.
that some of us were not willing to take off our clothes.
Some? You mean
That's okay.
everybody?
That's
but
one. That's one reason. I was willing, Schweiss.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
two
willing.
of us.
Number two was that
Joe was willing to get naked
To
with me, for the
me-
record. It's-
We're always willing to get
to me, I felt like one guy with his crotch to the camera with the controller. I thought that would be better for the small image in iTunes that we would get.
right, the little,
Instead of
the
5
little
people in a
JPEG.
row, it'd be a much better image that way. Caleb, in the middle of the week, decided to chicken out.
No, I didn't chicken out. I just didn't feel like doing it that night.
I didn't. Oh, sure.
Didn't have time. Dude, I'm trying to watch a
he's like-
fucking movie every night.
I'm not. And
Both
then
of
he's
them.
like,
Go fuck yourself.
he's like, I'm not going to do it unless all of us do it. And I'm like, well, I'm willing to do it. And then I turned to Cameron. Cameron's not willing to do it.
No. See, but even before
And then Caleb was like, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just not tonight. I'm like, all right. And then that night, I went on my computer
What'd you do on your
because
computer?
there was a moment where I was like, well, you know, if Caleb chickens out again, maybe I'll have to do some Photoshop on someone else's image, just and make it my own, or like outline it or do something with it so that you know it's basically the same image with a guy with a controller in front of his crotch and naked man with controller in front of his crotch, which I thought in my head was a funny idea
It is funny.
until I Googled. What the fuck was that, Cameron?
I'm setting up my Twitter account.
Don't do that here, man.
Until I Googled naked man with his hands in front of his crotch. And now, first off, there actually wasn't that many, like, bad images.
Well, you mean it didn't
What
actually
qualifies a
auto-populate
bad
the stream?
image, Joe?
A dick. A dick qualifies a bad image. What the fuck are you doing?
It's my gay Geiger meter going up.
Here's the thing.
Like I said,
I
his
realized right then
history
how
auto-populated the images anyway.
how not funny a naked man was.
Yeah, how repulsing it
well,
was.
Here's the thing. I think a naked man with a surfboard in front of his crotch is funny. I think a naked man with hardly anything on in front of his crotch is not funny. Mostly because the skin of the thighs is really like the thing that will just... It just makes you feel uncomfortable. I don't know how else to deal with it. So I realized that was the wrong image for our show. And last night, well, Kaleb Schweiss was on a date and I was trying to desperately get a hold of him to talk about what we're going to do for
couldn't
our new
handle the date.
artwork. Cause I was like, this is not going to happen. We're not going to do the naked man thing anymore. What are we going to do? I called Kaleb Craig and we talked about different ideas. And then I had the idea of, just doing the logo itself, and then I was on my computer doing some Photoshop stuff, and I figured it out. So we were going to have a naked man, and now we have a woman pulling up her shirt and a controller. So,
Revealing her analog.
Joe loves the analog.
The little button to turn on the dual shock is the G spot. Vibration on.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with it though. But I would have been okay with doing the image still today. It's just, I don't know. I guess you weren't okay. It's
I
not
don't
as
wanna see a
awesome.
naked man
Not as
anymore.
awesome as it sounded. I mean, you could finally know just how hairy my ass is, though. If you think about it.
I also didn't want to see you naked. That was part of it.
Yeah, I could see that. It just,
The whole day or the evening before he had to go take the picture, Joe's like, Cameron, you should come with me. I'm like, why? Because I don't want to be there alone. Oh, you don't trust yourself, Joe? Don't trust yourself around a naked Schweiss?
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, well, you got to get somebody to come with you. What are you, like, worried?
No, it was more about people talking.
Oh, you know.
Did you hear about that Joe and Kaleb last
You
night?
know we were going to do
I mean,
that.
it happens anyway. He just didn't want other people to know.
But now,
people?
but now, but see, now we still have something to talk about because of how nervous you were to be alone with Kaleb.
Yeah, you're like freshening up and shit. Is that cologne? What? I just like to smell nice.
Bring along the back blade.
Yeah. Schweiss here. I'm not using this. It's yours.
I don't see why we can't just share.
The fuck are you talking about?
Look up BAK blade, back blade. By the way,
Yeah. Unofficial
That's not an
sponsor
unofficial sponsor, yeah.
of Joe's lower back slash shoulder.
mostly the shoulder.
Okay.
Very small amount in the lower back. Yeah.
Oh, that's totally different. But
Now, how about low back? I think you got that covered.
it's covered.
I was hoping you like had a tail, like a bunny, like you know when people have tails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if that thing was like all furry, it'd be a bunny tail almost. Oh, that thing would look so weird, or like a dog with a little
Just
nub.
like wiggle it a little bit.
When I'm excited, it just like pulsates a little bit.
All right, well, shall we get to our Fallout 4 review?
Yes. Yes, we shall.
Peggy 18.
It's all over, but the cry.
With the world poised on the brink of war, Voltec is reporting a record number.
Crying, but me.
Folks, it seems we've got some breaking news. Stand by.
It's all over. No, I'm trying to forget about how much I care for you.
We seem to have lost contact with our affiliate stations. Stand by. We do have coming in confirmed reports of nuclear detonations. My God. Our soldiers were right. War never changes.
Let's go, pal.
War never changes.
Oh, yeah?
No, it doesn't change.
It does change though, because there's like bows and arrows, and then there's clubs. And,
Yeah, but
And then you get
but
airplanes.
The point of that is like, yeah, technology changes, but there's still going to be war.
No, that doesn't mean it doesn't change, though.
War is always present, and then people are always fighting over nonsensical things. like resources.
No, that just means there always is war. That's not that war doesn't change.
Well, the line is war. War never changes, so don't argue with that.
Well, does the game prove that war never changes, though?
Well, according to Fallout 3, it does not.
Yeah, I was going to say, because why is this the fourth one if it never changes? Why not just have one really big game?
The Commonwealth
Fallout
DLC.
1. Yeah. Explain to us why war
Well, we'll get
never
to
changes.
that.
No.
But let's get into a little bit of kind of like our Fallout experience. When did you start
When
playing
did we
Fallout?
fall out?
When did we fall out?
Well, you just were making fun of me too much, and I couldn't handle it, so I just had to say goodbye.
I don't know how much before you guys go into it, because you guys have experience. Do you have very much yourself, Joe? Because I know I don't.
Okay, I had Fallout 3, and I had a PS3 one day. And this is when I was living just alone in my little apartment over in Provo. And didn't have too many friends, and I just decided one day to pop in some Fallout 3 in the morning and, try out, see what this game's all about. And then the next thing I knew, I looked up and it was like fucking 9 o'clock in the afternoon or some bullshit.
He had a vent of time. It was so crazy.
It was, it's a time suck. I don't know where the day went, because I literally can think of like 3 things I did in that game that day. And it was like start the game, and then I started a quest, and then fucked around. And the day was gone. And so I said then, this isn't happening. This game is bad for me. It's too good, I guess. It's just, it's too much of a time suck, and I had to put it away. I never picked it up again.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of funny. In the same vein of that, I read an article where a man in Russia was suing Bethesda because he lost his job, his wife, and his kids to Fallout 4 because he just kept playing Fallout 4 and skipped work like constantly. And so he just didn't know that it was going to be super addicting, and so he just attempted to sue Bethesda.
What is he suing for? It's like, on what grounds? He didn't have a warning
just
label that this is an
that it would
addictive
be
substance.
An addictive game, yeah.
Yeah, that's BS. But
yeah, I know.
My experience with Fallout is similar, but it's not so much about the time loss. No, it is. It's about the time loss, but in a different way. So for me, what I did is I would go do stuff. I would start little quests, and then I'd go out and wander the wasteland. And then the problem with wandering the wasteland is if you die, there is no quick save in the wasteland. You just die, and I respawn an hour or 2 hours back. And that happened to me 1 or 2 times. No, it happened twice that I lost over an hour worth of time, and I was like, "Okay, fuck this game. I'm never gonna play this fucking Fallout 3 again. This is bullshit." And I never did.
I love that. Just wandering the wasteland.
Yeah, I do too. It was fun, but when you die and then all of that 2 hours of fucking progress,
you have to go to this town.
man.
You have to go to this town that's a good walk away because you've never been there before, and then you're just walking along. All of a sudden, this rock sucks you in.
Or that, yeah. I think that happened to me one of the times.
And then you're stuck in a rock. You can't do anything about it. You have to fast travel away and start all over again.
I'm done. So I'd be willing to give them another chance, but as of right now, Fallout 3, as fun as it was, it fucked me.
I've kind of stayed away since that Fallout 3 experience. My entire day being gone, I have no idea where it went. It just I wish I could have it back, honestly.
And
I
yet
could
you
use
want
the
to
time.
start the Elder Scrolls series
I've been playing with the idea of starting the Elder Scrolls games.
We might need to wait a little while for that, for you anyway.
Yeah.
Because I know your school schedule is a little conflicting for a 40-plus hour game.
I got Final Fantasy games to go through.
That too.
And every other game in existence is shorter than an Elder Scrolls game or a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, they're pretty long.
I feel like we should set up a quarantine zone for when Joe starts the Elder Scrolls series. We're just all there, as support, telling him when he should stop.
Okay.
Yeah. Put his
a constant intervention all the time, Joe.
Yeah.
Time.
We'll put his his breakers on a egg timer.
You gotta stop.
I gotta save.
When it hits 3 hours, yeah, it starts going off.
That whole time.
It starts going off, and you have 20 seconds. I'm gonna fight. No.
That'd be great.
Yeah, then you'd never pick it up again. You'd be broken of it. You wouldn't need to play it
Oh,
anymore.
to me, isn't Fallout just the Elder Scrolls games in
With guns?
a sci-fi sort of world?
I would say yes. It's mostly
Gameplay-wise?
a post-apocalyptic world in which everything is pretty much the 50s,
It's like if
except for in
it's
the
like if
future.
the 50s never went out of fashion and the Cold War never ended.
Or even better, BioShock on land
Dun, dun.
with not weird power-ups.
Well, here's the thing for me. It's like,
Just
you
awesome
got your
guns.
quests, and then you got the people to talk. It's like an RPG.
Well, in that sense, it's the same. But
How many
the
RPG
feel is
shooters are
different.
there?
There's a few lately. They've been coming out with
there
more.
are a few, yeah. I would say like Borderlands and Fallout would be.
Is it Destiny
It's on a
also?
huge map.
I would say
It's got
Far
the first
Cry
person
would also
view.
fit
Far
in
Cry,
that.
definitely, yeah.
I can see it as a I don't know, a Skyrim on steroids. Or not on steroids, but just the sci-fi
They're
universe instead of a
different in
fantasy
good
one.
ways.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay, well, he's agreeing with me.
It's pretty much what it is.
So, maybe I should stay away from those as well.
Yeah, that might be a good choice. I don't know.
All right, well,
Well,
where'd you guys get started in Fallout then?
actually, Caleb was my gateway person for this drug. One day in his basement, he's like, come check out this game. And then I, do as you normally do when you're over at Caleb's house is you
Yeah, you
sit
just
down
watch him
and
play
watch
the
him play a
fucking
freaking
thing.
video game. But then
Sound like a good friend.
I am.
But then after watching him play for a while, I actually went out and bought Fallout 3 myself. And that has become the most favorite game I've ever played. It is an amazing game. I can't get enough of Fallout 3.
Fallout 3, it's pretty good, yeah. I started with Fallout 3 as well. I bought the Game of the Year edition for like $18 at GameStop. And I just played the shit out of it and loved it.
But we started Fallout 3 when we first played it was when it came out, 2008.
Yeah, I did. I didn't own it then. I was just borrowing it from a friend.
Oh, okay. Obviously, you didn't work until like a month ago.
Well, years ago. Anyways. And then, about like a year ago, I think, did you buy the Fallout Anthology with me on Steam?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, and Tactics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, it was like $3.
Have not
and so I
opened
think Caleb and I both
Any of them.
bought
But
that.
I
and
own it.
I attempted to play Fallout Tactics.
That's
and
usually how
it
Steam
was
sales go.
really odd.
Yeah, that's how Steam sales go. You just are like, I could play that.
Oh, what? 3 games for $3? Hell's fucking yeah!
$1 a game.
them again.
That's cheap entertainment, and then you never use the entertainment, and thus have wasted money.
But you get this library of games, and then you get depressed
list.
knowing that you have like thousands of games that you will never touch.
No one knows what list you're referencing.
No, we've talked about lists.
Oh,
Yeah, we talked about
the
lists
That's
before.
right. I
The
did last
little
time.
list.
All things with list.
So, Fallout 3, my favorite game ever. How did you like Fallout 3, Caleb?
I enjoyed Fallout 3 a lot, and I probably liked it a little bit more than Skyrim.
I have
bit more.
to agree. I just like my favorite game. Not gonna lie. Did you play New Vegas?
I did play a little bit of New Vegas, although I didn't beat it.
What is New Vegas?
It's basically a gigantic expansion for Fallout 3. It was like the same, except for they made a few changes, or like you could infiltrate places by wearing certain costumes, and then you could make the difficulty level higher, where you had to like eat food and drink water. So basically, like a true survival game.
Oh, okay.
Which was kind of cool, but it was pretty much just the same Fallout 3, but not quite as strong a story, and in Vegas.
Yeah, I remember playing like a minute of New Vegas, and I just didn't catch it. It just wasn't the same for me.
Yeah, that 60 seconds, it's either hit or miss for Cameron.
Yeah, impressions matter.
The cutscene, the intro cutscene was more than a minute. I picked it out, pulled it out of the
Funny,
disc,
every time we make
and
fun of
threw it.
Cameron, it's so you use Quentin's voice.
Yeah, that's-
Quentin Tarantino.
Cam, apparently you're Quentin Tarantino in Caleb's eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I just did. You can catch me in a minute. I still have that. I'm a busy,
turn gaze.
I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, just I have watches to buy.
Yeah. I could have spent that 60 seconds browsing.
Awesome. But anyways, how long has it been since Fallout 3? I count the years.
2008 is when it came out, right?
Yeah.
So 7 to 8.
So 8 years. Well, no, 7 years.
And then when did we first start getting glimpses or hints that Fallout 4 is coming out?
I would say probably like 3 months before it came out.
And
like that.
I don't know about you, but I was pretty excited to learn Fallout 4 is coming out. The day that they released that first trailer and what you could do in Fallout 4. Yeah, basically what Joe's doing, stroking something over there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a yellow wax dick.
It's a candle.
Kaleb, that is not nice.
He was dragging his thumbnail over the tip, trying to give it a second circumcision too.
Just trying to smooth out that rough edge, that's all.
Yeah, there's a little weird
It's a little hard to
here.
use right now.
You might have to see someone about that.
Caleb was.
Well, it's not a direct model, although that would be hilarious if you guys are all playing around with it like, oh, this is awesome.
Because he kept
like,
fiddling with the tip, and over to Joe, who gave it a second circumcision.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I need to do that now. I'm gonna come. You guys are gonna come over, and there's gonna be a different model of that candle, and it'll be a mold of my own. And you guys will be messing around with it, like stroking it. And I'll just be over here all wide-eyed.
Is it just me, or is it just me, or is this?
No, we'll start stroking it really quickly, and you'll be like,
is it just me, guys, or is this candle smaller than it was before? This wax candle is so much smaller than it was before, guys.
Caleb, you can put your mouth on this.
He just gave the look.
It's not a goddamn lollipop.
It tastes like wax, doesn't it, Caleb? How does wax taste?
Wait, what? How does wax taste?
Well, it's yellow. It's obviously
Cameron.
banana flavored.
Yeah, it's either banana or lemon.
Yeah, I was thinking lemon.
Those are the two choices, man.
Yeah, it could be lemon flavored. I don't know.
I wouldn't be worried about him sticking his mouth. I'd be worried about it going somewhere else.
Cameron, put the penis candle in your mouth. Tell us how it tastes. Let's start the bets though. I say 50 cents on lemon.
I'm going with banana, man.
All right, lemon, banana. Pot's getting bigger.
I'm going with wax. You can just put it on the balls if you want.
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it for a
You
second.
don't want to suck on the balls?
I don't want to stick
Come
on
on.
on his wax dick.
Wax
I doubt the
balls.
balls have been up his ass.
You'd be surprised.
Up it? How does he get it out?
I just clench up and it just
It's
like
not like a handle on the
It
back.
just fires it out.
yeah, it just slams into the wall. All right, so anyway, we were talking about Fallout before we were inserting candles.
we-
in my
I was
ass.
excited. How did you receive the news?
Well, I've been waiting for another Fallout game for a while, so I was pretty excited for it. So, yeah.
He was pretty excited.
I wasn't super excited like some of the really big Fallout fans, but I was
super excited.
I was pretty glad that another Bethesda game was coming out.
Yeah, I came home and Cameron was watching E3 shit, and he was like freaking out about the Fallout 4.
I did tell him that he should watch E3, so.
And then he was telling me I should buy the Pip-Boy edition.
Yeah.
But I didn't have $100-something to
Man,
waste
you
on
like
that.
watches? I don't understand. It's like the ultimate watch.
No, it's like a cell phone holder is what it is.
It's the ultimate watch.
It's the ultimate cell phone holder.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably make one for much less money than
Because the app
they were
is
charging.
free. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the thing
the-
you have to buy. Yeah.
It's literally just the arm thing. Yeah,
Still, though.
I wouldn't have done it either. Of course, I have forsaken Fallout 3, so maybe that's why.
There's no chance he'll ever play Fallout 3?
No, I'd probably play it again. I just need to make sure I save very often. And that's weird. It's weird because with Diablo, I don't have a problem doing that. I save like every 2 steps in Diablo. It's because I know, like, well, this next guy, I could either kill him in 2 hits, or I could be swinging at him for an hour and he'll kill me.
Right.
So I save. Fallout, I'm like, oh, I'm rocking it. I'm just tanking through here. And then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be here, but you don't know that until after this guy freaking quarters you. So, yeah. I don't know. When I saw the Fallout 4, I was lukewarm. It was a really cool trailer. It made me interested, but not interested enough to go back and play Fallout 3 again to prepare for Fallout 4.
See, for me, it was like, I better stay away. And then I walked out. I can't see
Stay in shadow.
It's like I don't know. you don't keep alcohol on like your wall set up if you got an alcoholic coming over, right? Just don't. You don't.
I would.
You don't
It would be
advertise
funny.
it. I had to stay away, otherwise I could fall into darkness. I could fall out.
Out of your life.
Yeah. A lot of cool new features in Fallout 4, base building and then weapon making and then armor designing.
The armor design. Although I don't really care for that.
The armor design?
Yeah, I feel like there's like 5 different sets of armor and you can barely do anything with them.
I agree. I wasn't very happy with the selection of armor. It's just, you could pick up what's better and you just wear that. And only like a few different looks you could go for.
Is it like a regular RPG where you level up and shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's RPG.
So, okay. So yeah, their armor and other things.
In order to make the armor better, like instead of just buying better ones, you upgrade the ones you already have, or you go find better ones, like legendary armor.
How do you upgrade it? With elements you find, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like pieces of shit, like literally everywhere, and then you use those pieces of shit
Dog meat's been busy.
to upgrade weapons and armor.
Oh, so you use it as fertilizer almost.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
speak.
it just grows.
Yeah, there's
into something
there's
greater.
junk everywhere, and then different pieces of junk have different, elements or base components that make it up, and you use those base components to build bases, you build armor, you use it to build weapons and modify stuff.
So it's almost like a multi-tiered leveling system where you have your
very multi-tiered leveling.
where you
yes.
have your base stats that increase with level ups, and then you also have equipment that
your
you can
base
make better.
stats. So you level up, but you can decide to increase a base stat, or you can decide to increase kind of like a shoot off of a base stat.
Oh, okay. So it's got a leveling tree then.
Yeah, there's like perks which you can upgrade that allow you to do certain things. Like, for instance, you can learn to lockpick certain doors that you normally wouldn't have been able to, or hack computers that you wouldn't have been able to before. Create better weapon mods, armor mods, be able to like teleport to enemies through vats with the physical abilities.
Could you do all that in Fallout 3?
No.
Yes and no. There were perks, but some of the perks have changed for Fallout.
So wait, what's the lock picking mechanism in this game? I know with Oblivion, it's got the little tap on it and then press X when it gets to the top thing. Skyrim has the stupid little
It's a
thing
lot like
inside the door.
Skyrim's.
Oh fuck! I can never get a hold of that one.
You have a
The
screwdriver.
10 minutes I played. Yeah, that.
to be your torque wrench, and then you have a bobby pin
pin, yeah.
to depress the pins inside the lock.
No, I understand the function of it. I just hate the little mini game to do the lock picking.
Well, because you have
You
to find the
preferred
sweet
Oblivion's?
spot.
Although I did too. I preferred Oblivion.
So it's all about finding the sweet spot, and the harder the lock, the smaller range the sweet spot resides in. And you can break your bobby pins.
Yeah.
I don't know why they shatter like glass. It never made sense to me.
yeah, parts
What
you weren't
about,
even using, just breaking.
I don't know, the coolest, I think the coolest hacking system that I've ever had in a game is probably the one in BioShock, where you do
Where
the
you have
little
to-
pipe dream.
yeah,
The
a little
liquid,
pipe.
the liquid through the pipes is
Yeah.
hacking.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is.
There's nothing real. It's a very made for game concept, It's not a very realistic. Well, like what does that mean in BioShock?
Well,
to
you're basically just
play the pipe
hijacking it. You're
game?
messing around with the wires, I would assume. But instead of that, you get to play this little mini game.
Yeah,
You're rerouting its power from one
makes
area
sense.
to
It
another.
is pretty fun though.
I really like it. Yeah.
Good old pipe dream.
Yeah.
And then I started in Fallout 3 hacking. I started more so in Fallout 4 than Fallout 3. Hacking computers, I've gotten really good at it to look and see which is the correct word to enter for the password. Because of when you enter a word, it tells you how like the password it is, the word you picked. And the likeness means if the letter is the right letter in the right spot.
What do you mean password?
So, getting into hacking for Fallout 4.
Give us some context here, Cameron.
You sit down at a computer, depending on how complicated or how difficult the hack is, then the word gets bigger.
Oh, okay.
You sit down, the computer throws a whole bunch of lines of text and symbols and stuff up for you, and you're just looking through it for whole words. And you select the whole word, you hit enter, and then the computer will tell you how like the password that word you picked is. And the likeness is, like I said, if the letter is in the right place and it's the correct letter. And so a likeness of 1. And so you have to go down and find another word that has the same letter in the same place. And there could be, a different combination. And you keep trying to pick the one that's closest and as the likeness goes up. So it's actually easier than I had thought in Fallout 3.
Oh, okay. So you just kind of keep matching it until it gets better and better, and then
right.
you find
But you
the
only
word.
have 4 attempts. After 4 attempts, you're locked out. So the third attempt, if you fail, you stand up, then sit back down, so you can start the 3 over. But if you do that, then it's a different password. You have to start over again.
Okay. So you're just screwed. You just need to get it right the first time, kind
The
of thing.
first 3 times, yeah.
All right.
So what is Fallout 4 about?
Fallout 4 is basically the opposite of Fallout 3 in that in Fallout 3, your dad was a scientist that left the safety of the vault, and you leave to go find him and find out what's up.
But why were they in a vault? What's the why is everyone down in a vault?
Is that a spoiler?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because
It's a Fallout.
in Fallout, there was a fallout. And so people must live in
Nuclear
these
fallout.
Yes,
Exactly.
must
In case
live in
anyone-
these vaults for safety.
So there was what it was called the Great War, where China shot nukes at America, and then America shot nukes at China. And the whole world, nuclear war, everyone, not only a select few actually, get to go in these underground vaults created by Vault-Tec, and that's where your character goes at the beginning of Fallout 4. He runs for the vault, and you jump down the vault for a cryo freeze. Fallout 3, you actually are just a kid who grew up in the vault.
So it's basically Dr. Strangelove after the bombs. Like,
Yes.
The
Yeah, okay.
elite get to go down into the
All right.
vaults and propagate, and then you break
But as
out.
you find out, it's not just the elite who go in the vaults. You find out there's a more sinister, this is more in Fallout 3, you find out there's this more sinister cast to why the vaults exist.
Oh. Does that
Basically,
carry over?
the vaults are for social experiments on the
Social and
members
medical
of
experimentation on people.
And who's
Yeah.
doing the experiments?
The Germans?
Vault-Tec.
Oh.
It's just random company.
So where did the Vault-Tec people hide?
They hid in the vaults as well. They were just overseers, the leaders of the vaults, just trying to perform these experiments.
I think I killed the leader of the vault in 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
gunned
have
him
a
down.
choice to either let him live or you kill him.
I exploded his
I
face.
killed him. Yeah, I killed him every time. His daughter
I hated
did
him.
not find that very
Yeah,
funny.
the daughter
very
does
upset.
not like that at all.
All right, so that's how Fallout 3 takes place. I mean, is 4 the
well,
same
in-
setup, or?
Yeah, okay, so in 3, like I said, you were the kid.
In 4! What happened
No,
in
no,
4?
okay, that's what I'm trying to explain. So in 3,
All right.
because I said in the opposite and I never did get to explain the whole thing. So in 3, you're the kid and your dad leaves the vault, and so you go to try to find him and find out what's going on, with that. And then in Fallout 4, it's the opposite, where you are the parent and your son gets taken away, and so you go search for your son.
But how that happens is in the beginning of 4, you're just in your house in this futuristic 50s era, and this guy from Vault-Tec knocks on the door and says, "Hey, you have a reserve spot in our Vault-Tec right across the street over here." And you do the stuff with him, you get signed up for the vault, and then almost immediately after you sign up, nuclear war happens.
Yeah. So it's very convenient.
Yeah,
It's like
perfect
buying
timing.
insurance and then
Like-
needing it immediately.
Please go to a vault. I have one.
your wife, holding your baby, Sean, go run to the vault, and you run up to the vault. It sucks you down underground just as the nuclear wind is, not just the wind from the blast starts blowing over your head as you're going down underground. You're introduced into the cryo chamber, where you get into your own cryo chamber across from your wife, who is in her own cryo chamber holding your baby.
Yeah, I never really understood why there wasn't a special spot for the baby.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like, how's that going to work? But anyways, as you're down there frozen, there's a moment where you are thawed out, and you see this guy wearing the traditional kind of raider-like clothes. A raider is a wasteland person who's basically depraved, out killing people for loot and stuff.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen like
So that's
Mad
kind of like
Max-
your character in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
but they're like
Whatever you wanna
they
do.
are sadistic is the point of them. So you're sitting there, you kind of get thawed out, and you see this person in a hazmat suit and this raider type dude fiddling with the crowd chamber your wife and kid is in. And it opens
He's trying
up.
to cop a feel, is what I'm thinking.
He opens it up and he's like, "Hey, give me the baby." And then your wife is like, "No, I'm not giving you the baby." And he takes the baby from her and shoots her in the head, looks over at you and says, "You're back up," basically. And then he freezes you again. Back into cryosleep.
No.
And then later, it doesn't tell you how much later, you get thawed out, and then that's where your story as the survivor starts.
Do you get rescued by your girlfriend from the past that tells you have hibernation sickness?
No.
You are suffering from hibernation sickness.
Will return in time.
No, basically you wake up and everybody else in the vault is dead and you're freaking out and you have no idea what's going on.
Do you
just
have
know
morning
that your
wood,
wife
though?
was killed and that was the last thing that you know. And so you just kind of wander through.
So the last thing you know is your wife. The last thing you remember seeing is your wife's head getting
Yeah.
blown off and your kid stolen.
And you wake up with a rager. You're like,
Yeah,
what the
you have
fuck
like a
is wrong with
raging
me?
fucking boner and you're just like walking out and then
Okay.
you're like, oh, this is all messed up. And then you go outside and you see that the town that you lived in is totally trashed and then you see like your, basically
Ghost town.
your butler who is a robot and you go talk to him and try to,
the robot is
his name is
there.
Codsworth.
Nice.
That's
Yes.
pretty awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, so
I'm in.
Codsworth is outside your house, and he's like really excited to see you because he hasn't seen you in like 200 years.
Yep, 200 years you were in cryosleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So your kid's dead then.
Well, you don't know that because your kid was in cryosleep, but
Well-
with you, and you don't know how long you were put back into cryosleep.
So anyway, so he tries to, like, the robot tells you to kind of search around the town, see if he can get any clues, and then he eventually sends him to a nearby town to see if, like, he can get any clues. And then that just brings you back to the city after you fight a bunch of raiders
a lot of
and help
quests
out
back and forth for a
the
while.
Minutemen, which are a group of people that were formed to basically assist other people trying to survive in the wasteland.
So
And then the first boss that you fight, I just thought this was funny, is a fucking Deathclaw. Like, the most dangerous creature in all of the fucking wasteland.
A death claw?
a death claw.
What's a death?
It's,
Should we get to the history of death claws?
if you want to talk about
So death
Deathclaws.
claws come from Fallout. Are they in Fallout 1?
I think they're
But I
all
think
the Fallout
they're
games.
more of the knowledge of death claws are in Fallout 2, right?
I don't know. I haven't played either one
So
of those.
death claws are these horned, two-legged beasts that basically look like giant raptors on steroids. It's kind of a way to look at it, but they don't have like elongated snout, and they have like goats, ram's horns, or something like that.
They're basically demons.
Demons.
Okay, all right, Satan.
And they're huge, they're fast, and they can knock your character down, and you can't do anything about it, and they just freaking ravage you, is what they do.
It's like a
Whoa,
football
good
player.
God.
Yeah, they fucking rape you.
Yeah, it's a football player, except for they penetrate you after they
rape you?
tackle
Except
you to the
they're
ground.
huge.
Sounds like a football player.
Death claws. This is going back, I think, to Fallout 2, where death claws were actually a sentient race that actually had a community.
Sentient?
Really?
Sentient, yeah. They had
That's
a community. They had intelligent people, but in the course of Fallout 2, their civilization is destroyed, and what's left is what we see.
Wait. Is it destroyed by Fallout, though?
They were created by Fallout.
Oh, so that is Fallout is their god.
No.
No, there is a church
sect that
that
worships
worships the atom bombs.
Yeah, it's like got the little mushroom cloud as their shrine.
No, but then Fallout 3, their shrine was a nuclear bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
There was a
See?
nuclear bomb in the middle of the city that hadn't gone off, and so they kind of just
Congregate.
worshipped it.
I remember that.
But anyways, death claws are these super terrible things to face.
Yeah,
They will
there are
mess
some
you
that
up.
can kill you instantly, and you have no choice. Like, literally, if it touches you, you will die.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So anyway, you fight this Deathclaw. Everybody's like freaking out that you did that, and then they just kind of like tell you that you have become their leader.
Oh, so you're the hero.
You are now the
Of the Minutemen?
of the
Yeah, of the Minutemen. He's like, all right, now you're the general, and I can do that because I'm the last Minuteman.
From what I can tell, is the rest of the game just doing whatever the Minutemen are doing, or what?
No. I mean, for a while, but that's not the rest of the game.
Okay, tell me what happens.
So you can follow the Minutemen for a little bit, helping out civilizations who need, who need assistance. Settlements.
Not civilization.
Whole civilization.
Helping out
There's
settlements.
at least 30 people here.
Helping settlements with, usually the problem is the raider problem. You have to go kill people. Quest to go kill people. After a while, though, you start to come in touch with other factions in the Commonwealth. That's the area where you're in. It's called the Commonwealth.
Well, it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, so let's get that just out there.
Is it really Massachusetts?
Yeah.
That area looks nothing like Massachusetts.
It's
because it's destroyed. Anyway, so there's also Salem in Massachusetts, which has the greatest side quest of one of the greatest side quests
Salem?
of the
is
game.
Is that the witch
Oh,
place?
no way.
Yeah.
I saw it on the map, but I never went there.
You should have done that. That was one of the greatest side quests. Anyway, so
Rub it in. Just
If he had done that side quest, he wouldn't be here today speaking about Fallout 4.
Yeah, we would have had to have killed him
side quest,
mob style. He failed just from behind.
You're dead. Anyway, so you follow the basically when you get back to Sanctuary, which is the first town that you are in, the guys tell you that you should go to Diamond City, which is like the kind of like the capital of the newly destroyed Commonwealth.
What is Diamond City? What was it before the war?
A stadium, a baseball
It was
stadium.
a baseball diamond. It was the baseball diamond in, what was the famous baseball diamond in Boston?
Fucking, do I know
Red Sox?
baseball?
Yeah, it was
Red Sox Stadium.
It was
maybe?
a civilization, yes, a huge settlement made in the baseball diamond. That's why it's called Diamond City.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And there's a dude selling baseball bats in there, and he has no idea what baseball is. Yeah, he believes that it was a sport of armored people beating the shit out of each other with wood bats.
So he thought it was like broadsword?
Yeah, kind of. Anyways, it's kind of funny what they think baseball is. So you go to Diamond City, and they tell you to basically find this private investigator who can help you find your son. And so you go find him, and then you find out he's missing, and so you go...
The private investigator.
The private investigator is missing.
Is there a secondary private investigator that you have to go to find the private?
The second private investigator.
Oh my god! Wait, so are you finding? Wait. At this point, are you going to go find the private investigator, or are you going to go find your son?
You're going to find the private
Oh my
investigator
God.
to go find your fucking son.
Why don't you just find your son if you're the private investigator now?
He can't fucking do it without this other private investigator.
But he's good enough to find the private investigator.
Yeah,
just not his
yeah.
son.
It's all about
he was
following
told
the
where he was
trail of
going.
rumors. That's true.
Yeah.
So you were told where he is, but this private investigator knows a little bit about who could have stole your son.
Sounds like bureaucracy. They're following the chain of command. We gotta find this guy so we can do his job to help you.
It's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Anyway, so you go find him, and then you find out that he's like a robot, which was created
He's like
by...
a robot?
He is a robot. He is a robot.
He is a robot called a synth. So
Yeah.
are we going to explain what synths are now or later?
Probably now is an okay time.
Okay, so the synths are these robots that are made to look like humans. Some of them look like robots, but some of them look a lot more like humans. And with this private investigator, his name, however, is Nick Valentine. He is a robot, and his human skin has deteriorated quite a bit. So he kind of looks like a ghoul. Do I have to explain what a ghoul is now?
No,
A
you should
ghoul
be
is
fine.
a super irradiated human being that looks zombie-like. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
At first I was like, what? But yeah.
Super irritated. So he looks like
they're
a
immortal.
robot with a skin falling off, kind of like a Terminator.
Yeah, I was thinking Terminator the whole time.
Actually, yeah, Terminator is a great way to describe these synths. Some of them, at least, the coursers, which we'll talk about later.
Some of them look like Arnold.
The T-1000.
the X924.
Come with me if you
I
want
think
to
one
live.
was like X688.
Anyways, he's this guy, this robot, this synth
X69.
called Nick Valentine.
Nice.
His story is that he was a synth, but an earlier version of a synth that had this personality of a cop, a detective, before the war, downloaded onto his, I guess, his brain.
Okay.
So he is a robot who has the personality of a detective, and he sounds like, a detective from a movie out of the 20s or something like that.
So he's like really cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
If only there were sound movies before 1927.
Okay.
I was thinking that. I was like, well,
19, what would it be?
It would be the 30s and 40s.
1930s and 40s, yeah. So basically think of a detective wearing a fedora
You're
and a
thinking
trench
film
coat.
noir, so...
well, come on.
He's a dick.
Yeah, he's Nick Valentine.
Yes, let's go find this boy.
You think
this
Nick
boy
Valentine
balls.
was a dick?
Well, he is a dick.
How is he a dick?
A dick is another name for a private detective.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
Did you guys know that?
Fucking no.
New knowledge for you guys. Just dropped it on you.
I knew it was Robert, but
Anyways.
maybe you're just fucking retarded.
No.
How about that?
You can look it up later. Anyways.
I was about to say, Nick is a really kind man. How dare you call him a dick?
I will defend this fucking robot in this video game if I have...
Synths have rights!
And you chose to destroy them. Anyways, you find this guy, and then he tries to help you find his son by... he knows of this guy that used to live in Diamond City, and his name was Kellogg.
Okay.
And he...
Every time I hear Kellogg, I think Fruit Loops.
I think of Frosty Flakes.
Or
What are you talking
Frosted
about?
Flakes, yeah, Kellogg's
I just think cereal.
But so insert real quick right here is that whenever you're walking around somewhere, there's, the NPCs are always talking about stuff. And if you listen, you can kind of get what the current mood is. And everyone hates the Institute. Institute is the boogeyman who comes in the middle of the night to steal you and steal your children.
Oh, I thought it
And
was
they
just
replace you with a robot.
And it's like a body snatcher robot style.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they'll steal you and then put you back, but as a robot.
I thought everyone just took Institute to get a free parking spot closer to the school.
That is a joke.
Local joke.
Local joke.
I don't know. Maybe it's everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere, but only a certain amount of people would ever.
We're going to
get
build
that.
the elite lot here. Yes.
Anyways,
Yes,
the
moving
Institute
on.
is the boogeyman. Institute creates the synths. And Nick Valentine is a synth, and he knows a little bit about who you can contact to find your son. And is it about right now that you kind of find out your son is older than a baby?
Yeah, you get the idea because Kellogg, he tells you that Kellogg was in
by
town
the way,
with
spoilers.
a 10-year-old boy. So,
if you don't want to know anything
yeah.
more about this game, then don't stop listening.
Yeah, this is where the story
No,
is going to
I-
start getting a little spoiled. Apparently,
No, not really.
not like spoiled like a brat, but just spoiled as in ruined.
How about you just keep it vague? Maybe like...
How can you keep it vague when
Why would we keep it
Anyways-
vague? We
Okay,
don't
so
keep anything
anyway,
else vague.
you go and break into this dude's house, and then you try to find
Kellogg,
any
we're breaking
evidence.
into Kellogg's house?
Yes. Anyway, you try to find any evidence that would let you find him because he's gone now. And he has been for like at least a year.
And the reason why you're breaking his house is you get the key from the mayor. You're breaking his house because there's rumors of this creepy guy Kellogg living with this kid in this house. So you break in there and find out he hasn't been there for a while, and he has a secret room where more clues can be found.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then you use the dog that you find at the beginning of the game to help you find him. So you,
Sniff out the trail.
yeah, you track him by cigarettes, booze, and blood.
That dog has a nose on
Literally.
him.
That's how I would track Kaleb Schweiss. If I were.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way.
I don't smoke.
No, his the litter of beer bottles along the trail.
Beer and blood.
So dog meat sniffs out the trail. You find it, and
They're in an abandoned military base, and then you go through this base, killing a bunch of synths, and then until you get to Kellogg, and basically you demand where your son is, and he tells you that the Institute has him.
Okay.
And
Institute has yours.
Then you got to find a way to get into the Institute.
and then you got
Well,
to
that's the
find a
story.
way to get it into the Institute.
That's the story. So you kill Kellogg, and you look through his stuff. You notice he has a few attachments, augmentations, on his person, a pain inhibitor and other stuff. And you just take it because that's what you do. Money's money. But later you find out that there is this person in this other settlement called the neighborhood.
Good neighbor.
Good neighbor. And there's a person there who can actually help you relive your memories. So Nick said, well, if they can make you relive your own memories, could they make you relive the memories of a dead person if you had their brain?
And so you take this computerized brain chunk and give it to her. And so she hooks you up to a thing that lets you see the memories, and then you find out that the only way to get into the Institute is through teleportation.
A really important thing, Caleb.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did. Who is Kellogg? He is the person who killed your wife and stole your son. You watched him murder your wife. So that's why when you see Kellogg...
alert.
Well, that's when you see Kellogg, you want to destroy
It's not really
him.
a spoiler. You know. He's,
Well, I know the twist at the end of the game because I was in the room, or at least near the end of the game, I guess. But
So basically, you try
really
to
hated him. You really hate him.
Yeah, you really hate him. Anyway, which is why you kill him. So basically, you find out through his memories that the only way to get into the Institute is through teleportation. And so you use that information, and then after that point, there is no more kind of main story. It is basically you choose a faction, and then that faction will help you get into the Institute to destroy them.
find out what's up with your son. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can either join the Institute when you get there, or you can just...
Wait, two factions? What are the two factions?
There are four factions. There's
four.
the Minutemen, the Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, and the Institute itself.
So you can join the Institute?
Yes, you can join the Institute.
Oh, that seems like the easy choice. Like, well, I'm in, so hey, let's go beat the game.
No, because it's the people who are stealing people. It's the people who are stealing people,
honestly,
and killing people.
I don't believe there's really a good choice because basically everyone is a dick. Like, literally everybody's an asshole. Like, the Minutemen, they don't care for anybody except for just, like, the random people throughout the Commonwealth. They don't care for the synths. They don't care for the ghouls. They don't care for anybody. The Railroad only cares about saving synths, which aren't even really human, but they're trying to believe that they have human feelings, which is why they try to save them from the Institute. And then the Brotherhood of Steel is essentially the KKK.
Of the
Put that
wasteland.
out there. They believe in purity, and they don't like ghouls. They don't like anybody, honestly, except for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Institute is a bunch of assholes who believe that only scientists should exist, and so they want to basically continue on their own little settlement and destroy everybody else.
No, what they believe is that they should be in charge. The Institute that they
There's
do
something
have
about that I like.
The Institute has
scientists
has more technology than even the Brotherhood, and they believe that only through them can peace be brought to the Commonwealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I know then you do get the teleport thing. You go in.
Yeah. So you make the teleport thing.
And then the game goes on from there.
Yeah.
Let's just stay away from what happens there because I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody. Okay, guys. Is this a story-driven game, or is it kind of like there is a story and?
I would say there's a story for the first half, and then it's like, fuck it.
Wait, so are we not going to spoil the end of Diablo either?
This is
I think the end of Diablo is fairly obvious.
I mean, this game has 4 different endings. I had one ending. Caleb had another ending, and that was going to be something we talked about.
Well, that's cool.
Okay.
There are 4 different endings that you can go check out.
Yes.
So it's not really a story. It is story driven for the first half.
I would say that it's driven by your desire to save your son from whoever took him, and then after you learn that he's in the Institute, it's mostly about you joining a faction and then just like fucking everybody over.
So I believe that it is largely story driven for the most part but then the story part of the game is just a small part of the game because the game goes on after the story and there's so much more to the game than the story. So if you're only going through the story like I was, then it's largely story driven.
Right, I mean...
Cameron was story driven.
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda by and large does a lot on side quests. I mean, the reason why I never finished Oblivion is because I put 80 hours into closing every one of the portals before I even went back after the Kvatch mission.
Every time you came across the portal, you just had to go in.
Yeah, I'm like,
the stone
time
that
to
was
go
in
in
there.
yeah. And I don't know, does this game have the weird thing that Oblivion had, where everyone would be like, "Oh, you're the hero of Kvatch." I'm like, I've closed way worse fucking portals than Kvatch. That shit was elementary. This is elite. I closed 2 of them right next to each other. Kvatch is trash.
They kind of know.
And they're like, all they recognize you for is that one thing you did 50 hours
When you
ago.
get to the Institute, I felt like they would keep talking about the first quest you did for them, and then they don't really recognize anything
they
you do
don't really
after.
care. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's basically that.
So it's like a callback, and then they're like,
They do sometimes mention it somewhere else, like even on the radio in Diamond City. Like the one really creepy dude will just like
Who
talk
didn't
about
even know
you.
how to do the radio.
Yeah, he doesn't really know anything about how to do anything.
Like the radio's in shambles and you walk in there.
Yeah. It's like broken and only barely works outside of Diamond City.
Is it a good story?
Yes, I like the story.
It's okay.
Okay, Cameron, what about the story do you like?
Well, without giving spoilers, it's a great story.
Just say spoilers and then spill your guts, Cam.
Is that allowed?
Just we'll ask the audience to skip if they wish. They can skip the next. Make it no more than 3 minutes of us talking about the ending of the game.
Okay, so spoiler alerts. It's awesome because the whole time you are looking for your son and you think, okay, he's about 10 years old now. I was in cryosleep for about 10 more years before I got out. So you finally get into the Institute and you see your son in a cell. Well, not it's still a cell, but a comfy one. Mm-hmm. You go in there and say, "Hey, Sean, what's going on?" And the Sean's freaking out and say, "Hey, father, who is this guy in here?" And you're like, okay, well, someone else raised him and thinks he's his father. And then in comes this old dude, bearded, gray hair, everything, and he says some words, and then your son shuts down. So who you thought was your son was in fact
spoiler alert. Okay.
Who your son in fact is a synth, and the guy who walked in, this old 60-year-old man, is your son, and they call him the father. And then you are the father's father.
Nice.
The grandfather of the Institute.
When you guys first talked about that in the very beginning of the storyline, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. It seemed like because you were, the way you emphasize you were in cryostasis, but you don't know how long. I'm like, oh, dude, the sun's gonna be.
Dude, it hints at it really heavily throughout the game.
And then it tries to make you believe he's just 10 years old.
And then it's like, oh, he is 10. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it shuts it down. And you're like, oh, what?
No, I'm a 60-year-old man and in charge of the Institute.
This evil
Your
thing.
son is in charge of the Institute, the person who's body snatched everyone. And your son believes that the Institute's the only way to save the Commonwealth, and the Institute's very much the ends justify the means.
All right. So that's the end of our 3 minutes right there. But you very much enjoy the story?
I did.
Was it strong to you? Like
very strong, because that's all I ever played.
Is there anything about the story you didn't like, Cameron?
What I suggest to people is, play a little bit of a side quest every now and then, because then your level will be high enough to actually not die at the end of the game a million times.
Okay.
I think I just barely made it to level 25 at the end of the game.
Oh, that's impressive, I guess. Maybe.
What level were you at when you ended the game, Caleb?
I was like level 43.
There you go.
So you're 18 levels better than Caleb.
There you go.
I know there's someone out there who could speed play the story and do it like super fast.
Oh, there's probably a glitch.
And there's even people who play the game without killing a single thing.
Well, there's only been one.
Yeah, there's a guy who can
and the
play
developers
the game.
didn't even think that was possible. So there's that.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Level 1?
You still level up. You have to level up.
Yeah, you can get experience by building stuff for settlements.
You can be building stuff, gathering stuff, doing quests that don't require you to kill people. You can gain experience and level up. Because you have to, because there's certain perks that are very necessary to do this no-kill run-through.
Had to take the cock candle away from Joey. He's got to keep his hands off of it.
Stop molesting the candle.
Well, I mean, it clearly wants it. It's erect.
I'm the one with the clothes on.
Could you say it ignites a flame in your groin? The cock candle?
Is that supposed to be like a redhead joke or what?
It's supposed to be a candle cock joke and igniting the flame of his desire. But anyways, I love the story because that's all I played. But there are points in the story where I had to go do certain things for the Institute. So I stuck with the Institute. I finished the game as the Institute because I didn't have time to investigate another path to go because I needed to finish it fast. Institute has you do some things that I did not feel too good about, and Kaleb knows that even though they're computer people, I have a problem with killing innocent people. I just can't do it. It's hard for me.
He can't play a bad person in the game where he has like infinite choices.
What was that other game we played?
Yeah, we were playing Armored Core for Answer, yeah. And then there was a mission where you had to destroy these like things that were called cradles, I believe, that like
Cradles of Civilization.
Millions of people, because people couldn't live on the planet anymore. They had to live in these giant ships. Okay. And you played like a giant robot. And the mission was to destroy these ships. And I was like sitting there telling Cam to destroy these ships because you didn't have to. You didn't have to destroy these ships, but it was a side quest to do it. So I was telling him to do it.
No, I wanted to do it because it gave you something. It gave you some armor, or gave you something new if you did it.
Yeah, and then I was telling him to do it, and then he like did it. And then he felt so bad afterwards that he had to reset his save so that he went back and then didn't do it.
Looks like when me and you play Fable, I'm guessing I'm going to have to play the bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't. I can't kill mercilessly. So I had to lay waste to a certain faction playing for the Institute, and I felt so bad. I didn't feel bad about killing Brotherhood. Oh, I can do that all day. But
you didn't care about killing the Brotherhood, even though there were children.
I did not know there were children on the ship because I never talked to them.
That has children, and he destroyed them.
I had no idea that there was children on that airship because I never talked to the Brotherhood. I didn't have time. I had to beat the game. I did not talk to the Brotherhood.
The UN said there were kids, and you went in anyway, Cameron. Come on.
The UN didn't say shit about anything, and so I destroyed them using something.
I am the UN.
And then the airship was just destroyed and crashed to the ground, burning.
That's fantastic.
So, flaws with the story, Kaleb Craig?
I believe that the flaws with the story began when you had to choose a faction.
I agree.
In order to progress in the story. The biggest problem with that is that the factions didn't really do much for the story.
No.
So you just had to basically do their missions in order to progress further. And then at some point, they all force you to go into the Institute and then do missions for the Institute.
Oh, so
in order to kind of pretend that you're one of them until you like betray them, you know.
So it kind of
yeah, it was really pretty much dumb because it made you get a taste of all the factions.
See,
really,
that was
in order to choose who you wanted to be with.
That was my
like,
intention.
I didn't think that worked very well.
So it kind of derailed it when you
that
had to
was my
go.
intention to do that with the Minutemen, to be a part of the Minutemen because I was the general. I was in charge of the Minutemen. So that was my original plan.
Like 7 people.
But then if you're not if you're not going through if you keep getting more civilizations, there's more and more people who settlements. There's more and more people who are part of the Minutemen.
Okay.
I was going to do that, but then there was no clear moment where I could go back to them, and I just didn't have time. So I just kept going with the main Institute quests.
All right.
So let me ask. I want to ask how the story compares to Fallout 3.
Oh man!
And which story do you think they improved? Does Fallout 4 have a better story than Fallout 3, or vice versa? And then you're gonna give us an out of 10 score for the story.
All right, I would say that Fallout 3 is significantly better than Fallout 4 as far as story, because Fallout 3 did not require you to make a choice to join a faction at all.
Yeah.
And at the very end, it made you choose like a moral choice, whether you wanted to be the one to sacrifice yourself to basically save everybody else in the DC world, or
the DC.
Or send in your super mutant who's 100% radiation proof to go get it for you.
Yeah, or the neutral move, which was to send Fox in there, who is a super mutant and 100% resistant to radiation.
I don't know why that was a bad choice, because it's the choice that makes sense.
Because you weren't the hero.
So you don't like
sacrifice yourself.
It restricted what you were allowed to do.
There was in Fallout 3, there was a clear-cut story that was not bound to side missions being the factions, and I felt that was a lot better than having to choose a side.
All right. So main story, you like your games to have the main story, and then there's the side story. It's not completely relevant on the main story isn't built around some of the side quests. You like it to be a completely optional experience.
Yeah, I do like that, but I felt like it could also, for Fallout 4, I felt like it could have been done better as far as the joining the factions to become a better end.
Yeah, I would imagine Cameron would agree to that too, because I remember you going through Fallout 3 one time in like 5 hours or some shit. You just blasted the game, and then you started again because you loved it on PC. And I don't know, I guess that having the gameplay this way, I imagine kind of interfered with that a little bit.
I agree with Kaleb. They could have done factions a little bit better, but I like the idea of joining a faction affects the outcome of the game. I think, though, the point of choosing a faction should have come earlier, and you would stick with them for most of the game. You didn't have to go leave them to go, you could stick with a faction for most of the game. You don't have to keep going back and forth between the factions all the time.
Yeah.
More clear-cut lines to the faction so you're not confused when you're in the Institute already, balls deep in the Institute, and you can't get out.
Kaleb Craig, what would you give the story of Fallout 4? 10 out of 10? Or out of 10. Sorry,
10,
I'm sorry.
Joe?
How dare you influence him that way?
10 being fully satisfied and 1 being...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I would say it's about a 6.
Ooh, okay, 6.
All right.
Same question for you, Cameron.
What's the average for a game?
I don't know. A good game should be at least 7 and up.
This is
out of all of the games you've played, what do you feel like the story? How do you feel the story satisfied you?
Well, let's say, hold on. Let's talk about the rating system for a little bit here, because it's just what you feel out of 10 for the game itself, for what the game is.
Yeah, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be against every other game you've ever played.
Yeah, because like there are some games where the story, like maybe Heavy Rain, that story is going to be the thing.
Yeah, that one is definitely.
If you're playing the original Legend of Zelda, the story's not that important.
No,
So like.
It doesn't make it bad, though.
It doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
For the game itself, are you satisfied with its story?
The outcome? Yeah.
Whether or not there was that much of a story or not.
Yeah.
Cameron?
So Fallout 3 for me was a 10 out of 10. So I'm going to have to say Fallout 4 is about an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 and a half.
That's a pretty good score for a game. All right. Well, how about gameplay, guys?
I really enjoyed gameplay. It was a lot like... Well, it was basically Skyrim again, just with guns.
Well, that's because you did a melee build. I did just
okay. So I played through the game twice in the time that I had. Yes, this is where it comes out. I have like 16 days in that game. Anyways, so I played through the game once with guns, and then I
still haven't seen the whole game. Have you seen every quest, everywhere you could go?
No,
exactly.
I have not. There's a ton of stuff. Anyway, I went through the game a second time with a melee build, which was really fucking fun. So I would say that one was probably more satisfying than just going through with guns. Right. But the guns were pretty fun as well.
So I know you shoot things, you pick locks, you hack computers. What are some other aspects to the gameplay?
Well, there's power armor, which existed in the other games.
What's the difference between power armor and armor?
Well, in Fallout 3, there was no difference. Power armor was just basically super advanced armor.
Okay.
And in Fallout 4, it's essentially an Iron Man suit that you put on over your armor to increase your ability to move around, your ability to carry items, your ability to withstand attacks, stuff like that.
Power armor was developed by the U.S. military in the year something before the Great War to help aid the communist repulsion.
Thank you, Ken. Anyways, and so and you need basically power cores that you can get throughout the game just by either killing certain creatures or getting them from certain buildings and stuff to power this armor. It was basically running on gas.
Yeah, but you filled the tank on the power armor.
Yeah, which kind of became annoying, and most players never really used power armor as far as I read online. They just kind of conserved these fusion cores for special missions where they believed that they could not survive without
So what
power
they did
armor.
is they made this power armor because you get hit, pieces of the power armor start falling off. So you stop, so you're not, and then you have to collect these fusion cores, which are hard to collect. And so you just end up hoarding them and not really wanting to take out your power armor.
Yeah, so basically the armor becomes useless for what it was before. And before in Fallout 3, it was kind of geared towards like a survival game where like the more you use weapons, and armor, they kind of deteriorated and became useless or broken, and then you could repair them.
Can I say that is my least favorite thing in all RPGs? Go ahead.
Well, in Fallout 4, you may be excited about this. They got rid of that. Woo! Yeah! Anyway,
for power armor.
Yeah, except for the power armor, which is now the only thing that has repairable stuff.
Okay. So
there's that.
You got armor.
What about the combat? Like, how is the combat in this game? I know it's an RPG, and traditionally they're kind of a slower combat system, but that's one thing that Bethesda does really well, or at least has in the past, is have a very active, very moving, fluid combat system. I mean, does this one stand up to the previous entries in the Fallout series or even Skyrim?
I would say yes. It has a fairly good combat system.
You can play through it like a first-person shooter without aim assist.
You can play it through it first person, third person, whatever you want. There's also in Fallout a system called VATS in which you're able to slow down time and calculate your attacks on your enemies. So with guns, you can aim at certain parts of the body to like destroy them or cripple them, stuff like that, which is a unique thing to Fallout.
You can even upgrade that VAT system to see what the enemies were weak against, so you can kind of know what weapons you should use against them.
Yeah.
But did you feel like the VAT system was kind of clunky in this one?
A little bit, but I do like the fact that in Fallout 4, the enemies were still moving and it was
the
slowed down time
yeah.
instead of Fallout 3 where everything just stopped. So it was kind of, it added an interesting and kind of rushed feeling to having to speed up combat.
Okay.
Which was pretty awesome, as VATS is pretty important to
See, what else is part
Fallout
of gameplay
series.
in Fallout 4? Like side quests?
There are a lot of side quests.
Cameron, just take a break here. You're looking flushed.
Basically, as I was the only one to do side quests, I won't go too much into it to spoil it for Cam.
Well, that's basically what the game's about, right? Like
It is mostly
getting
about
equipment and doing side quests, right?
Yeah,
You're coming out into this world and you're
making.
making a name for yourself in the world.
Yeah. Essentially, by the end of the game, you rule the world and everybody still tells you to declog their pipes.
So hog status.
Yes.
I am the general. I shouldn't
That's kind of what pisses me off about those games. They put you in charge. Like for the Minutemen, they're like, "Oh, you are our leader. You are the general, the man who commands the troops. Now go clear out that settlement for us."
Put your life on the line for the people.
Anyway, so that's probably the only problem I really have with doing side quests in Bethesda games, because they all do it to you. They all do it.
That's true, yeah. They all have menial tasks that it's like, don't you know who I am? I mean, everyone else is always saying, oh, you're the hero of blah, blah, blah. This guy's a beast. And you're over here having me do this nonsense, clearing out a few scamps in your fucking fields.
You want me to get a fucking book for you? Go to a library!
Yeah, they're free cards. It's a community service, you ass.
How is exploration in this game? How is it dealt with? Is you just walk from place to place?
You do walk from place to place. There is an ability called fast travel. I know a lot of people like to play the game without fast travel, which is where you can travel back to anywhere that you've been before instantly, so you don't have to walk all the way back.
So people want to do that for fun? Not do that?
Yeah, people want to do that for fun because there are hidden things throughout the game that you couldn't find normally if you had just basically teleported.
For example,
it's a pretty big game.
It's a pretty big
game, and they're like the random encounters are extremely important. Like example, walking up on the satellite array, I hear this little like what sounds like a jet powering through the sky, and I look up. There's this weird ship, smoke trail, everything, and it just goes away, and then listen to hear. really, really low boom. And you travel over there, and it's an alien ship that crash landed, and it's on fire and everything. And you look at the ground, there's green blood leaving the crash site. You follow it, and you see this alien in a cave. And if you played the Mothership Zeta expansion of Fallout 3, they look like those aliens. And so you're in this cave, and there he is looking at you. You kill him, and he has the alien blaster with it, like 500 ammo.
I was hoping you were going to say you found like Will Smith dragging him through the desert in a parachute. What was that goddamn smell?
Well, if you made your character look like Will Smith, you could play out that scene for him.
But I don't know, the motorhome part might be a little hard to duplicate, but
maybe just a week.
Okay, so that kind of thing you can't get if you fast travel.
Yeah, if you're always fast traveling everywhere, there's these little random encounters you'll never find, little special
little gems of the game almost.
Like there's magazines littered throughout the wasteland, and there's different types of magazines.
Ooh.
And
we can't go there.
Magazines will boost stats for you. Magazines will add different features for you.
Oh, nice.
Give you little perks. Stuff. Yeah, like there's one that I found that was give you bonus XP when you pass a speech
therapist.
No, like a
Junior.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. There's like
speech therapist.
A certain speech requirement, like if you have a certain ability in your personality points,
Charisma.
So you can like convince them of stuff.
Right.
Then you get like bonus XP and just random little perks like that, just strewn throughout the game.
Just stuff just hidden throughout the land. It really encourages exploration.
So, I was looking when you were playing the game. I saw on your menu whenever you level up, there was like this whole entire like sheet.
That's the
little
perk tree.
Little kid toys.
That's the perk tree.
Tell me about the perk tree. Tell me about the Vault Boy.
So the Vault Boy is a Vault Tech convention, kind of a 50s stylized thing.
He's
but
like the little idol character that like most companies have, you know.
Okay, yeah.
You have your base stats, your special, and the special is an acronym that stands for strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. And then underneath that, you have different little perks you can add, but sometimes you have to be a certain level before you can put a point into that perk. Every time you level up, you get another point you can use. You can either put it into a base stat, or you can put it into a special little part of the perk tree.
Okay. So
the perk trees are basically...
Can you fuck yourself over with that thing?
Yes. You can. Yes, you can. And I almost did, because I tried to start out with a level build. I shouldn't have done that.
So wait, did they have anything like this in the previous Fallout?
In Fallout 3, there was a similar system, but it didn't really...
It didn't work the same way.
It seemed very extensive from what I was looking at.
Yeah, it was probably more extensive in 4, although
it's a lot more extensive in 4. And things change a little bit.
More time to spend in-game.
Yeah.
Is there a max level?
There is not in
There's
Fallout
no
4.
level cap.
Holy shit. Wasn't there one wasn't it like 50
There was in...
there was. It was like 50 in Fallout 3.
I just figured out your max level would be all those things maxed out. But do those things max out?
They can max out, and you can go even beyond that.
Good God.
There's one aspect of the game I did not get to enjoy, but I wanted to really bad.
Okay, what was that?
It is the community leader part of it. With the Minutemen, you can go liberate a whole bunch of settlements and make it defensible, but you can basically be a community leader. There is a trophy that's super hard to get where you can get a community up to 100 happiness. And
it's fucking bullshit, by the way, and it's only a bronze.
You can get in there.
A bronze trophy?
Yeah, a bronze trophy for like the most difficult thing in the game.
And you can go in there. There's like one huge fun aspect of the game that I didn't really get to enjoy is the settlement building, where you can actually go in there and establish your own settlement. You can pick a site that's already been created.
I remember them talking about that on the video you were showing me during E3.
Yep. So you build up your settlement any way you want it to. You build up your defenses. You build up just any way you could, food, places to sleep. You assign settlers jobs in your settlement, and each settlement can have 10 people plus what your charisma is at. So 10 people base, and if your charisma is 10, you can have up to 20. They're still out on if you have anything that boosts your charisma over 20, if you can actually have more settlers over that number. But you can create shops, for just supplies, ammo, all sorts of stuff. And then you can even set up a trading caravan in between all of your settlements. So when you have a settlement, like we said before, you can scrap anything. You can cars, mailboxes, broken houses, anything can be turned into materials for something else. And once you set up that supply train, it makes everything in each settlement available in another settlement.
See, this sounds like the part that I really want to play. The setting up the settlement. I can spend a lot of time.
Sounds like a nice little
Civ 5.
Yeah,
It's basically the God game that Joe wants to build.
we don't talk about that.
It's in Fallout 4, just not quite to the level that Joe wants.
Go on YouTube, look up Fallout 4 Super Settlements or something like that. You're going to see some crazy creations that I want to do.
Yeah, there have been people that have built houses that look like AT-ATs from Star Wars, and that's really fucking
There was
sweet.
one that someone built an entire skyscraper. We're talking like 90 floors out of this building tools.
Oh, that's probably easy to spot.
He
Like,
might
hey, what's
have-
that? Let's go attack it.
Except for they don't bloom until you're close.
Oh.
And
They'll just fly a plane into it, though.
the more resources that are available in your settlement, the higher your defenses have to be, or else raiders try to kill your settlement.
Okay, so.
Yeah. There is a cap of how much, like a set limit of how many items you can create in a settlement, but those PC users can turn that off and basically create these monstrosities.
Oh, nice. So that's where the skyscraper comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little clunky on the lower level getting things to line up exactly right, but if you're patient, you can make something awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see you getting kind of frustrated with it, trying to make like a fence, and it just kept like trying to go perpendicular to you instead of just connecting and continuing the
From
line.
what I can tell, this game is just gigantic.
Oh man.
And so, the fact that, Caleb's played it twice and hasn't even seen that much stuff, and, little things like that. Obviously, the game is so big that they're going to have little problems with some things,
glitches,
and it is a brand new game,
and it's Bethesda.
It is. Kaleb Craig, did you before we get to Cameron's glitches, did you ever encounter any glitches
outside of the two big glitches that are known as the duplication glitch and the infinite?
Sounds like the W
glitch.
item glitch from Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
VII.
it sounds like it was a
okay.
good
So
thing.
basically, what it is you have your dog, and you drop an item that you want to duplicate onto the ground, and then you tell him to pick it up, and then you run over to the item and pick it up just as he's bending down to pick it up, and then you get that item, and then he also drops a duplicate. If you do, but the timing is insanely hard to do.
I saw something that Cameron was doing.
Okay, there was one glitch I'll admit I had to use because I did not have time to keep getting money to keep buying the ammo I needed. So there's a glitch.
Did you do the infinite?
No, I did not do the. I only did a glitch that gave me the item I wanted. I didn't do anything to give me a lot of caps. So what I did is,
I told him not to cheat to beat
I
the
had
game
to
every
have
time.
ammo in order to go to the next thing. I could
cheap.
not do it.
And then I told him to just do it
So I could
later,
beat
and
the
then he
game.
was like, "I'm not going to."
But anyways, what happens is if you go to a vendor, this could be patched. Hopefully it's patched soon. What you need to do is you give him one item from your arsenal. Doesn't matter what it is. I always pick the thing that's least worth to me, 138 round. I give him one round, and then I can pick anything else in his inventory, and I hit X and square basically at the same time, and it will automatically move what I wanted from his inventory into my inventory, and I just hit OK.
Holy shit! I did not even know about that.
That's sick.
And if you have any caps, it'll take the caps that it's worth, but if you don't have the caps for it, it still gives it to you. It just says minus how many thousands of caps it was worth.
Oh my god, does that stay in your inventory, the -1,000?
No.
Oh, so if you go in there with no money, you could come out of there like a bandit.
Yep, you can come out with everything he has.
But
The
no
one
one will
thing
try to
I
shoot you.
noticed though is when you go to him, it still acts like when you go back to him and you have the item still in your inventory, it still acts like you are still like you look over your inventory, it has that little green square next to it, like you're still contemplating buying it, but it's still
So it's like
yours.
forever glitched in that screen, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And so
Wow.
I did it for ammo because I wanted to do the perk where I can create my own weapons, and I use my combat rifle the most, the 45 round the combat rifle that uses the 45 round, and I was trying to make it into this awesome rifle, except a lot of the stuff I want to do for it, I couldn't couldn't do it because they were level 3 gun nut perk, which you have to tier up what you can do in order to make the guns you want. But I had to be level 25 in order to do that, and I just beat the game at level 25.
Oh, so you missed out on something you were
And
pumped
so
about.
the end of the game was a real hard little thing for me because I was level 25 and still basically barely using stuff over the beginning stuff.
Points for Cameron.
Tell us about that glitch from yesterday, because I gotta.
Okay. So back to how I feel really bad about killing innocent people. There is this mission I had to do for someone that entailed us taking out a part of a faction to reclaim some individuals for the faction I was doing stuff for. So we get in, we kill the people shooting at us, that's fine. They were shooting at me, I'm killing them. But then there was innocent people inside, caravan guards and a whole bunch of stuff, and they were part of the fighting. They weren't shooting at me at all, but they were shooting at the people I was with. I killed this Brotherhood knight who had a minigun, and he was, killing us. And so I shoot him, and then one of the people I was with, a synth, basically a Terminator type dude, picks it up and starts laying waste to everything. He's killing the women, the caravan guard, even the freaking Brahmin, the pack animal that carries stuff.
And the children too.
And the Brahmin, the pack animal, and he was just laying waste to it with this minigun. I couldn't take it, and I wanted his mask. So I killed him. So I killed him, and the only problem is when I killed him, the guy I was with, a courser, which is basically the Terminator version of a synth, saw me do it, but he was kind of necessary for the quest that I was going to finish. So he saw me kill this person, so he turns on me, starts shooting me, so I kill him. But when I did that, I killed him, and since he was necessary to the quest, I made the rest of that quest glitch out. So I go into, this is the Bunker Hill, you go underneath Bunker Hill, and there's this huge battle going on, and it's like raging on, people going back and forth, just bullets everywhere, and I start to try to get in on the battle, but my gun isn't, I'm shooting, I'm throwing stuff, grenades and shooting stuff, but no one is dying. No health is going down, but as soon as I shoot someone, they turn to me and start shooting and killing me. Next time, I'm like, hey, that was weird. I reload to get back in there, and this time I noticed, hey, this battle's going, it's pretty heavy, but no one's dying. So they're not even doing damage to each other. And so I'm like, this is freaking crazy. I can't kill anyone.
He was yelling. He was screaming downstairs, I broke the game!
So I'm like, okay, my
downstairs,
quest.
I'm like, okay, just.
I'm like, okay, my quest is over here. So I run through the middle of this pitch battle while taking stim packs and drinking purified water. I'm like pushing past people trying to kill me. And I get to the part where I see those 4 people I'm supposed to reclaim. And they're all like, thank you for giving us another chance at life. I'm like, I didn't do anything. And then the courser I'd killed up outside reappeared dead on the ground next to me. And so I'm like, okay, I broke the game. So I had to reload a save that was like an hour or so earlier. And I had to just redo that quest and then go back down there and not kill it. And, man, that was last night. I was up till 4 last night because of that.
Man, that body teleporting there reminds me of a glitch that happened to me in Skyrim where I was gonna marry my partner. She was like following me around, and then she'd been killed by like a troll. And then like I went to like go get married to like this other girl because she was dead. And like it wouldn't let the marriage happen, and everybody was pissed at me because like I missed the wedding, and I was like, what the shit, I was here. And then like after that happened, my dead previous wife was like right there in the church.
No.
with everybody. And then I tried their marriage again, and it would let me because she was there.
She got her invite. She had to be there.
Yes, she was there in spirit and in
living or
body.
dead, I have to be there.
You said.
So, guys, is the gameplay, is it fun?
It is fun.
All in all, I think it's less glitchy than Fallout 3, but the glitches in Fallout 3 are more of a nostalgia type thing. The noodle bodies bouncing off in the distance is just good.
Dude, they do that in 4 too.
I haven't seen it.
If you do
the most glitch I see is when I throw a grenade and it tries to do the smoke, it turns into like black pixelation I can't see through. That's the biggest glitch.
I hit a dude so hard with my super sledge that his body went flying into the wall and then fused with it and started dancing while he was was like a part of the wall.
I've seen that before in Oblivion. I had a guy hit me so hard that my guy like fell to the ground, and then he like turned into this pool.
They just not have playtesters at Bethesda?
They do.
No,
It just like randomly happens.
It's just how much coding goes into it. I mean, every little quest that you do alters the game, and over like 100 hours, like all these little things happening to the game, it just screws with something earlier.
It doesn't really affect anything. It's
No, it does
really
when you turn into a fucking puddle and you can't move, and your guy's like trying to flee puddle mode and you're still getting hit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I think the worst glitch that ever happened to me was when I was playing Skyrim, and then I went into the water. And it was all fine, and then I got to the point where I was swimming, and then as soon as I got swimming level deep, the game froze.
Yeah, wasn't that a big one for him?
Yeah, it just wouldn't let me play the game, and it took them 2 months to release a patch that fixed it.
Aw, dude.
Sucks.
Bethesda is notorious for their glitches.
All right, so
big glitches.
Out of 10 for gameplay, the most important aspect of game. Out of 10,
arguably, yes.
What would you give this game, Cameron?
Well, there were some things that bothered me about the gameplay, but
assuming glitches would eventually be fixed.
Yeah, I think of this as like you play it a few years down the road. Now, they don't necessarily fix every glitch. If you look at Oblivion's Game of the Year edition, I cannot not be a fucking vampire when I become a vampire. You're just fucked. The lady will not take the fucking blood root or whatever the hell it is.
Game-breaking glitches I didn't really come across. One big thing about me is the gun I like to use was too slow, but I could have, fixed that if I was a high enough level.
Well, you are now.
But on the reviews now. I say gameplay gets a 8 out of 10.
All right, so 8 out of 10.
That's lower than I thought you would give it.
There's certain things that bother me.
All right, fair enough. 8 out of 10, solid.
Especially when I'm in VATS. The guy's right there in VATS, and I miss him all the shots. I can't. No.
You can't handle that. It's almost like in COD where you got someone right in front of you and the aiming reticle is so big, even though the barrel is in the guy's face, and it's like, oh yeah, you missed. It's like, no, I can't move forward because I'm going inside him with my rifle. This is not a miss. I don't care what the reticle says. So stuff like that did happen.
And yeah, but it's all about numbers and chances. I think that's why there's a lot of glitches, because it's always running percentages. Like, you're going to have this much of a percentage of...
Oh, yeah, I remember that with Fallout 3.
And even if you have this big gun, you're still going to have a chance of hip firing it and killing someone.
Okay, yeah.
So there's certain aspects, kind of clunky, kind of slow.
But the rest of it's great.
But it's awesome.
All right. Fair enough. What about you, Caleb?
I would say a 9.
9 out of 10?
Yeah. The Bethesda games don't really stop being fun. I mean, they're always fun to play. You can pick it up, anytime. After having played a bunch of other games, it'll always be entertaining.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next aspect. Guys, how did the game look?
Yeah.
The design of the game, the design of the areas, artistically and graphic-wise. What are we talking?
I mean, we know the game is supposed to be smaller than 3, isn't it? The size of the map?
I don't know. It feels smaller.
I think they're about the same.
Oh, okay. I know we were talking earlier about
I do know they have the map lines, but then the game can go beyond the map.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, it can a little bit.
All right.
Although a good chunk of 4 is water, so I guess you could say it's slightly smaller or about the same. You break the chair.
Cameron broke Caleb's chair just barely, and we'll have to figure that out after we're done.
Yes. Anyway, design. How did it look? I mean, was it appealing? Did the things make sense?
I would say yes. It looked very much like the previous Fallout games as far as the environment.
Yeah. Environment. I think the graphics were maybe marginally better than Fallout 3.
Marginally, it's significantly, I would say.
Maybe
it's easy to remember.
There's a lot of little things on the ground and just everywhere.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than in Fallout 3. Skyrim was a big jump from Fallout 3.
Yeah, you got to remember. I don't know. For me, when I'm playing,
okay, then marginally better than Skyrim.
Especially when I'm playing games in the same series, I'll remember the game before being almost the same graphical quality. Like with Call of Duty, for example, I'm like, okay, yeah, 4 looked amazing, and then I go back.
And then you go back and you're like, oh,
even same gen, like Black Ops to 4, I'm like, Oh God! Like that was I don't know. So you kind of get into the swing of things. So it seems like it's only a little bit better until you actually go back. But
yeah, and then people looked a lot fucking better than they have in previous.
Did they have
games.
a lot of designs? I know another thing that these guys do a lot is they
reuse
have the same
character faces,
voices.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of repetition in faces at all.
Yeah, they were pretty unique as far as like faces and stuff go, and the voices I would say were also pretty varied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
There wasn't many
we'll get to
reuses.
sound soon.
Well, yeah.
Does this kind of sound, or is this gameplay design where you're sitting there talking to someone and the first part of what they're saying, their mouth isn't even moving? It's just, and their mouth is closed, and then they're going on
reading their mind.
I'd say that's design.
Yeah, that's design.
Okay, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
that didn't really
You just
happen to
communicate
me.
telepathically. You have a really close connection to that
and also
person.
with me, there were so many times I'll be playing something and it gets intense, and then the frame rate on this is on a PS4, mind you, would just drop. I'm just going like choppy, so slow.
Jeez, that's not a good issue to have this day and age. People are like frame rate or death.
It happened. It happened so often. It wasn't always like that. It would like catch up to itself. But that I would go to
super
somewhere
speed.
new. I would go somewhere new, or something huge happened, and then all of a sudden the frame rate's just chop, 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 chop.
No.
So, design, like character design, let me say that as a observer of what Cameron was playing, I was not that impressed. Because, I've been playing a lot of PS3 games, for a while now, and I'm just like, the PS4 has not impressed me. The PS2 to the PS3 impressed me, and of course PS1 to PS2 impressed me. Talking those eras of kind of console switching. PS3 to PS4, there hasn't been a game that's really delved into its processing power, except for maybe that
1886.
The 1886, which I've seen trailers of, and it looks like a beautiful game.
It is.
My concern with Fallout 4 is that it doesn't really, maybe it's not even trying to be like a graphical
I would say that it's not really trying to be superior.
Yeah.
Mostly because of how vast it already is.
Huge. Not everybody is Square Enix.
Yeah.
That's true. I have been playing Final Fantasy games solidly. So like even Final Fantasy 13 looks like 12 times better than Fallout 4 does. With at least the quality of character animation.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on in Fallout 4, but
yeah, that's true. There's a lot more going on. So it is kind of
it's not a hallway too.
It's kind of that balancing act between how big do we want to make this game and how good do we want to make it look.
Right.
I mean,
but
if
then
you
again, we
look
play
at-
7, and 7 looks like hell.
Environment wise, I think it does look pretty good. But character model wise,
character models have always suffered in Bethesda games, whereas like the environment was always really good looking. And I think that that's what they kind of focus on, because you tend to play in first person, at least I do anyway.
It's easier to shoot guns.
Yeah, it's easier to see, and then like it's easier to shoot people. So they don't really kind of focus on that as much. I mean, like you obviously see a bunch of people and there's a lot of interaction, but they want you to just kind of look at the world and be like, oh, well, that looks pretty awesome.
okay.
They want you to be wandering the wasteland and then looking over the corner and seeing something peeking over the hill and then going, I'm going to go find out what's over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I can't see it.
It looks too shitty from here.
The Bethesda games are really about exploration, more than just like the people that are around.
And then I don't know how many hours did I put in this game to beat the main story. I think maybe just like around 25 hours I've put into it. And if you look at my map, you just see a line of places I've discovered, and that's it. There's just blank space off.
It's like a lazy game of Age of Empires where you're like, you tried to explore and then you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back.
I only want to know what's around here.
Or Civ, and your person gets killed and you just don't have the resources to make another one, so you've only seen this strip.
So design out of 10.
I'm gonna have to put design. Because is design taking in the graphics, or design doesn't have to
It's
necessarily
graphics and art.
There's a lot of cat pictures in Fallout. Let's go with 8.
And Cameron, yeah, it was going to be a 6, but then he thought about the cat pictures.
So you want 8? That's what you're going to
He
go
wants
I'm going to
cat
go with 8 in
pictures.
design
All
because of cat portraits. Just joking.
with? All right, Caleb, what about you?
I would also agree as 8.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
decent.
now, sound design, a very important aspect of most games.
Yeah, for us, especially with Final Fantasy. What does this game? I know this game, the series traditionally has a lot of 50s music. Because
Exactly, and that helps add to that atmosphere.
Oh,
of,
definitely, yeah.
of that 50s era, but then the kind of the Cold War type feel, and just it's killing people to this upbeat 50s song. There's just nothing.
Yeah,
that
there's
beats
nothing
that
quite
feeling.
as magical as
Yeah.
like shooting a guy in the face or cutting somebody up while listening to a song literally sing about some guy chopping people up.
Yeah, I mean, we've all played BioShock. That's one of the things I loved about that. I'll be like, I was in BioShock 2 drilling someone to death with my drill arm to Mama Loves Mambo. Just gore in the sky. It's perfect. So this game, it has the same kind of
so
stuff.
actually, if you tune into a radio station, you get a lot of the same songs plus some new ones from Fallout 3. So I like the sound selection. For me, though, I don't know whether or not this was the TV I was listening on. I at times felt the music was a little overpowering, and
Yeah, it was over the voice acting.
exactly, way over the voice acting, and even if I turn off the radio and just because if you turn off the radio, they have ambient music that'll come in, especially when you're doing stuff. That would even come over the voice acting a lot. I don't know if that was because of the TV I was watching it on. I should have changed the sound aspect.
You can change the sound in the game.
Joe's offended by this.
No, well, here's
sound's
the thing.
fine.
If
Shut
it's not stereo, you shouldn't be like whatever its stock sound levels are. That should be what's coming out of that TV.
Right.
So it shouldn't be messing with anything. So
Because I didn't mess with the sound really in Fallout 3, and that was just fine. I could leave my radio going.
Yeah, I was
over
wondering
all
why
the
you
time.
didn't just put the subtitles on so that.
Either that or turn the music. Can you
There's
edit the
usually
sound in the
subtitles.
game? Like,
can't.
Yeah,
Turn
you
the music
can
down.
you can go to
Change
options
it.
and did. I didn't do it.
So wait,
And I have
do you have a Jesus?
I know,
Do you
I
have
know.
a radio in your suit? Then do you always have a radio on? I mean,
so
The
Pip-Boy.
the little computer that
What
you
is a
have
Pip-Boy?
on your arm. It's a mini computer that is on your arm. It's essentially a cell phone that does not work.
is it
as a
your
cell
inventory
phone.
too? Isn't that how you access everything?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much your menu.
So it's like a little
system.
chest too. You like open it up and it's like a
Yeah, yeah.
backpack.
It's like a portal
computer
to
inventory
nowhere
of what's in your
that has all your
nothing.
stuff.
What's your just magically
But you
holding.
can
Well,
only
you've shoved up
carry
your
a
ass.
finite
Exactly.
number of stuff in
Okay.
this infinite little pocket.
I always wonder why in RPGs they aren't wearing backpacks.
I'm kind of wondering why they don't just fucking have like a cart.
One thing,
like a hobo, because that would be so less badass.
Well,
the main thing in the game, your character's like pushing a fucking Walmart cart up this mountain. Fallout 4.
What's funny about that? I actually saw a picture today where it was like some dude just like decked out in like armor, and he had like 3 like shopping carts, and he was just pushing them along, and it was just full of stuff, and then in the corner it was like Fallout 4.
Nice, yeah.
one thing in Fallout 3 that I like that didn't come into Fallout 4 is when the weapon you had actively equipped, when you put it away, depending on what weapon it was, it either go at your hip or on your back. Fallout 4, you put your weapon away, it just disappears, and then you're
Up
just,
the ass.
Yeah.
it just disappears, and you're running along.
It goes into that little pocket, man.
The little pip pocket.
And then if you're in the
Pip hole.
if you're in the power armor,
Love the pip hole.
the power armor looked too pudgy to me. It was too bulky. Like you're wearing.
Cam doesn't like his characters to look like they're fat.
No, and it's not that he's fat. He doesn't look fat. He just looks like just so thick and bulky. And when he doesn't have any
power
weapons,
armor, Cam.
And then when but in Fallout 3, it didn't look like
Powerful, baby.
It's because in Fallout 3, it was meant to be like armor normally.
But anyways,
for
the point I was
you.
getting to, it's this huge guy in this power armor, and he just doesn't have anything in his hands. He's just walking along. And another thing is when you pull out a gun, and if it's not something like a minigun, it looks so small in your hands, like you're like shooting a pea shooter.
Yeah, you just got this tiny little water gun. I guess that would be an aspect issue where it's like, that was a
that's
mounted
another thing. I
machine.
wish they had more variety in armor. Better looks. I hope they with the DLC they'll add better looks to armor.
Well, they always do. So there's that to look forward
So back
to.
to sound. Sound design, was it pretty good as far as like environments and
I would say so. When
weapon
there were
sounds and footsteps and all that other
footsteps,
stuff?
yeah, definitely. You could always hear. There was
Something around the corner.
in certain, there's something around the corner. In certain situations, like in one particular side quest I can think of, it was kind of like a horror related one, and so you could kind of hear the steps of this thing moving around, or like just near you, but you couldn't see it, and then you could hear just like kind of generic like horror screeches, like whenever like something was gonna happen, like the claw coming down from the ceiling, grabbing a dead body, ripping it in half, stuff like that.
Claw
normal
from
stuff.
the wall.
Yeah,
'cause
just
the
normal
creature's on the
stuff.
side of the wall.
And so I think that as far as like the ambient sound for the background stuff was pretty fantastic.
How was the voice acting? How was it?
Another settlement needs your help.
The voice acting, I think, was decent. Like Kaleb said before, they didn't really repeat voices too often.
Really?
Didn't match up to the character's
Yeah, it was
mouth
pretty great.
very well. But sound, even just as, your character making sound and other characters making sound, it's very important to gameplay. Okay. One thing that it's every Bethesda game that you have to sneak a little bit in. You're sneaking, you kill someone, and everyone's like, what was that sound? And they look at the dead body and goes, oh, must have just been a figment of my imagination. Or, oh, it's nothing. I'm just getting jumpy. The guy's dead right there.
He's fucking
He's just
died
taking
for
a
no
nap.
reason.
No sleeping on the job.
So out of 10, sound.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go 6 on this one for me.
What? You were... Okay.
Okay,
Where does the 6 come from?
I'm gonna put a 7 on sound.
Don't, we don't have to make a second guess.
I enjoyed it. It was good, but I think they could have done better. Like,
Was it mostly the volume levels?
That
volume
is a big
levels
thing
for me.
if you can't hear the cutscenes.
But, I mean, the
fuck?
bass sound off of a game, their pre-settings should make it so you can hear the game. And there's just some like a clunkiness with the sound.
Someone's probably going to call you an asshole for that. You could change the settings, you dick.
The bass settings should be so you can hear the game.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm with you, yeah.
I mean, of course I could have gone there and modified the sounds and had an enjoyable
But you didn't have time.
But I didn't have time to go to the menu.
I ain't got time for menus. I didn't even save. I just left it on.
No save run through.
Yeah.
That would be brutal.
So I did decide to add another category to this. Now, there's a couple reasons why I did. One of it is because if we do all of these scores right now, it's out of 80. 80 is a stupid number. And I thought, okay, what would make a game... What makes a game good? Out of all of these, we've got, the storyline, the gameplay, the design, the music and sound. One really important aspect to a video game is its replayability.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's an important thing. I mean, if you have a game that...
Or it's continued playing.
Or continued playing, yeah. I mean, it could be either restarting, it could be more side quests. As long as your character doesn't die at the end of the game, most games will just kick you back into the universe. How motivated are you guys to play this game?
10 out of 10.
After beating it.
I would say 10 out of 10 as well, as I already did play it a second time, and will probably play it a third.
So you're not satisfied even after 2 times.
Well, if you want to put it that way, I guess.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Oh, God, who just burped?
Sorry.
That was death, like incarnate.
Actually, that was... jalapeno poppers, a roast beef sandwich, and Mountain Dew.
Dude, I tasted the
Hey, you know what? There was a cow that died for that roast beef sandwich. So in a way,
it is death.
It is death.
I was just paying for the listeners.
God, Kaleb can never process meat.
I'm paying
fully.
homage to that cow.
I know. I put my meat in his
can't
mouth all the
process
time, and he
very
never
well.
processed it.
Yeah.
Definitely, for me, I feel like there's a huge portion of the game I did not get to experience, and so I will purchase this game and play it through.
Are you saying you didn't purchase it?
I did not purchase this game. I didn't have time.
He said a few
You didn't have time to go to the store and buy it.
I borrowed it from Kaleb because he already played it twice, and he was still playing it when I borrowed it.
So while Schweiss adds up all the scores and divides it by how many categories there are, and thus making an average score for the reviews, overall thoughts on Fallout 4, gentlemen?
Loved it.
I would say it's definitely worth picking up. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it just because it's popular, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, like, it's a really good game, a really good style. I mean, a lot of people that wouldn't like RPGs would definitely like this game because it's a shooter, which a lot of people enjoy. And then you can also do whatever you want in it. So I would definitely recommend playing it.
I would too. And I would recommend playing Fallout 3 if you haven't played that and are playing Fallout 4.
I'm kind of tempted to play the original Fallouts as well. Although
I want to play the original Fallout.
Bird's eye view games.
Yeah, the fucking tactics esque grid system combat.
No,
because
it's not really
you don't have to.
For those people who are interested, there are lots of Easter eggs from Fallout 3 in Fallout 4. Individuals you can meet and stuff like that. So I definitely
good old
suggest playing.
McCready.
And
the mothership thing, the alien,
and the aliens.
Well,
and then
McCready
that
was
would have been
in
lost.
Fallout
That would have been
3.
lost on you.
Dr. Lee, and then
So in the coming weeks, I assume you're going to play a little bit of Fallout 4. How about you just
I'm
tell
going
us?
to return it to.
Tell us about your future endeavors in Fallout 4 once we get to those. Okay?
I'm probably going to start over from the beginning and then
not get there in time and stress.
and then take my time,
There's no time
enjoying
limit.
the game.
There's no time limit.
I'm gonna have a wonderful start because I know some places to go when you're first starting out. If you have advanced lock picking skill from the gate and you don't actually go to Sanctuary right away, there's a lot of cool stuff you can get right around the vault gate. And I know how to get that cryo laser from the vault too. You can Dogmeat can fetch it for you. Dogmeat can go grab it for you.
Are you serious?
Yes, he can.
He can break through the fucking thing and take it. Wow, that is fantastic.
So what is our Nude Clan official rating for Fallout 4?
We give it an 80 out of 100. Both of you gave it 40. In your own respective areas.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good, decent score.
That's a pretty decent score for this
like
game.
on Metacritic, I would say that's a game that you'd want to play.
Yeah.
So
I'd
do you
play
guys,
games that
you
are
guys
70s.
recommend this game?
I would definitely
Highly
recommend this game.
All right. 3 first. Still.
Well, you don't really have to play 3 in order to play 4, but it's nice. I mean, continuity and all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the little references that video games throw you. Those little Easter eggs, those little nods. And if you don't
I'm
have the other...
excited. I'm excited to see what DLCs they have for it coming out too.
Yeah, new, what would it be? New Reno instead of New Vegas. New Elko.
There's a few less things to do, but the game looks better.
I mean,
God,
in
it
Fallout
sucks here.
3, you had that alien aspect to it, and there's actually a theory that the aliens are what caused the Great War anyway. But I'm not. If you're interested in that, you can go look it up.
I want to see like Fallout Dugway, and then it's just like you're stepping on mines every once in a while. Fuck this shit.
Dude, it's
That happens
already
anyway.
like that. Yeah, there's mines fucking everywhere.
Oh, is it really?
Mines everywhere.
Oh,
They
dude.
had nuclear war. Why would they have mines?
No,
Well,
people
That's been
after nuclear
200
were
years.
Some people after. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All
people
right.
have their own mines that they
That's
just
ridiculous.
try to fuck you
Joe
over with.
hates traps as a...
Oh, there's so many
backstory.
traps. So many traps in Fallout 4. You have to keep your eyes open when you're going
Joe,
somewhere.
Yeah, those
when you
games.
play the Elder Scrolls games,
They do that a lot,
there's a lot of
actually.
traps.
There's like little things where you trip a little wire and like the spike log will come down and hit you, and it's like, come on.
In Fallout, and it's to the extent in Fallout 3 you can actually have a perk that makes it so you don't set off traps.
Oh, and then in Oblivion, if you touch it, even after it's done moving, it'll still damage you. It's like,
Exactly.
what the
I remember
fuck?
that.
Oh, you remember
brush the
those,
slog, you're dead.
Cam, you remember the spike doors in Skyrim?
Oh man.
Yeah, if you step like on a certain rock in Skyrim, like this whole metal door with spikes on it will come and try to smash you.
That's nuts.
Wow, yeah, those are sick.
All right. Well, I think that concludes our Fallout 4 review. Thank you, gentlemen.
What's the next game we're gonna Well, you think we'll have Diablo done in a couple weeks?
Hopefully in a couple weeks, yeah.
All right, because I'm probably going to beat it tonight. So
I'll probably beat it next week. So
all right.
fine.
Well, let's.
I'll try anyway. I do have school and stuff, so.
Oh yeah, that's going to really
all-
start packing it.
So are we going to have another game next week, or are we
Not next week. Next week we'll have a discussion.
Yeah, general discussion. We're going to try to do every other week. Game review.
We'll try.
And
it all depends on what it depends on. Human error.
that just means Joe. But
Yeah. Okay, so our next, we need some jingles. We need a getting fat jingle, but let's talk about getting fat. We've been it's been 1 week since we decided our New Year's resolutions, and we want to see how we're doing.
Cameron,
I've been to the gym once.
Yep.
nice.
And I was like, "Hey, Cameron, come to the gym with me." And it's like, I have to play Fallout 4.
It seriously was like I was so low
Well,
on
he
time.
did. He had to.
Yeah, and so we didn't go to the gym.
You
All right.
gone to the gym, Joe.
So that
Okay,
was
Cameron, here's the thing about going to the gym with a partner is that the whole point is that you get over, like,
So you want a friend to watch you sweat? I don't. We don't have to go to the gym for
exactly
you
that.
have to have someone there just for, like, reliable,
support.
support
almost.
to go to the gym.
Yeah, so you can go run on this treadmill with your headphones on, and I can run on this treadmill.
It's
with my
about
headphones
the
on.
going.
It's
to
about the
gym.
motivation. It's having another person
Oh,
that's
it's
like,
about
come on, man,
someone
we gotta
driving you
go
to the gym.
Yeah.
No, I could.
I'm just joking.
I drove last time.
I know, Joe.
No, I think it's about having someone to drag you there, not just
Yeah.
you there.
right.
And I tried to, and he was like, "No."
All
well,
right.
I had,
So Cameron did go work out once.
and for the record, I beat
so did
Fallout
I.
3 like an hour before this review. So
Fallout 4?
I'm sorry, Fallout 4.
You were
playing the wrong game.
I beat Fallout 4 an hour before this review. So if I had gone to the gym that day, we'd be talking about something else. I'm just
Well, no, we would just be an hour back in this thing.
I
Right, that's
also
actually
went
true.
to the gym once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb, what about you?
Supposed
What
to
about
go to
your
the gym
goals?
tonight.
Oh, well, that's not
are
going to
we?
happen.
No. we need to re-look at the schedule and find another
boy.
time.
That's funny. All right.
Because Saturday evening.
You got time.
Nah, I don't know about that, dude. Joe's got a lot of posts to do for other show. Anyway, what about you, Caleb? So those two, they didn't fail their goal, but didn't do as much as they probably intended.
We did half as much as we were supposed to do.
Oh, so you did say
I thought
it
we were
was
going to
twice
go
a
3
week?
times a week.
I thought it was 3
Well,
too.
the third time would be after these shows are done to go for an hour. But we got to get this show a little bit more packed down, I guess, before we have a little bit more time to do that.
Yeah,
think.
the timing of it.
Yeah, we shouldn't be starting our episodes 3 hours late.
No, probably not.
No, but we had technical issues and then other issues as
You
well.
should put that on your cock instead, Cameron. He's
probably
tightening.
enjoy it better.
He's tightening a mic. What is it? A pop filter?
Cameron's in ADD mode.
Yeah, he's
Actually, it's proven that if you fiddle with something as you're doing work, you actually boosts creativity.
well, then what the fuck? Step it up. Just kidding.
It doesn't boost the work.
funny.
It boosts creativity.
Yeah, I'm still.
I would like to just add that.
What is he really working on right now?
Nothing.
I'm just listening to you guys shoot the wind. That's pretty much normal.
My keyboarding goal, I have been trying to type correctly, and I'm getting I'm marginally more comfortable at keyboarding than I was.
Did you take that
Nice.
typing test, Joe?
No, I haven't taken it. My goal is over 40 words per minute, and I'm not there yet, so I'm not even
Okay.
worried
Okay.
about it. Kaleb Craig?
Well, really, my only goal was for the animations and the 366, which I am now at. What was that? Seven
What movies did you watch this week?
I watched Watership Down, The Penguins of Madagascar,
Nice.
which was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's a fun
Like,
one.
a lot better. And, let's see, what else did I watch? I watched The Last Unicorn, Secrets of the Kells, Mr. Peabody and Sherman,
Nice.
and,
Is that it?
how many movies is that?
I don't know. I wasn't counting.
Yeah, I wasn't actually listening to you.
I don't know.
was
I
just
have like 7 movies I watched. I still have like
was
2
Watership
more
Down?
to go. It was pretty good.
I read the book.
Did you?
I had it read to me.
Well, I saw the movie. So there you go.
All right. So since Caleb, set his goals too high, we'll.
Oh yeah, I think none of us are on par with the 366.
What are you talking?
366.
The 366 movies
I'm
in
not part of this
366 days.
Well, as soon as we get back to Joe, we will
Joe
prove
is
that.
like he has to watch a movie today in order to be caught
Right,
up.
that's part
and
of it.
I think you are too.
You have to watch a
You
movie
have to watch
a
a
day.
movie a
We're
day.
not behind until the
We're
day's
not behind
over.
until the day's over.
I
He's
am
right.
behind, however.
I'm not behind.
I only have to watch 2 movies.
Oh, so now suddenly everyone's behind.
Everyone is behind technically.
All right, so
you know,
I'm
on point.
All right, so my goal was to lose some weight. Now I haven't really been working on that too much. Most of the week I ate a little healthier, did my good stuff. But last night I got taken out for my birthday, a late birthday gift, and it was to Buca.
He was taken out.
It was to Buca something up in Salt Lake. Amazing Italian food. So I ate like a freaking horse up there. And then today we eat like crap because it's podcast
Your horse
day.
sound?
No.
And so yeah, I think I've lost a little bit of weight, but I kind of packed it on just in pure food weight. But I feel a little better, so I don't know.
You know what I did? I just started writing down what I've been eating, and it's kind of telling.
Yeah. But I did.
That was my goal for the week, was just to write down what I ate when I just had no inhibitions.
Yeah.
10,000 pizza
And
rolls.
there were some days where I was only like 300 calories over, so it really wasn't that bad. And I mean over from losing weight, so I was pretty much on point.
Okay, yeah.
But then there were some days where I was at work, and when I'm at work, apparently I'm eating an extra 1,000 calories.
That's a lot. That'll add
you
up.
do work at like a pizza place. So.
Yeah, so that would do it. So I'm thinking maybe I should quit my job, and then I'll just lose 30 pounds.
Probably. But
I can't afford food. I'm losing weight.
I haven't really done anything as far as the grades go. I know that was one of them, to do awesome in my classes so I can hold my GPA above all. And I don't know, I did take a yoga class too, which I'm hoping that helps me get into shape. Yeah. And I'm kind of not flexible. Like I can reach pretty far, but sometimes when I lay and twist in certain ways, my back starts to
You just want to blow yourself, don't you?
I think that's like the goal.
If that ever happened, you guys would just never see me again. My skeleton would be found upstairs with my head in between my legs, and I'm just dead.
He broke his neck.
Yeah. I needed it to be balls deep, so to speak.
So
it's not that deep.
Oh, fuck off. But no, anyway, so there's the yoga thing, and I'm hoping that helps me get back into shape a little bit. That's at least twice a week that I have a class now, a grade behind the class, and it's mostly attendance based. So
Didn't you have a book goal, Cameron?
I did not have a book goal, but
I
that's
did.
a good
I wanted to
goal
read
there.
more this year. I haven't read anything yet, except for textbooks.
Okay.
2
But
books.
I do plan on reading the textbooks
This
completely.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
He has a lot of time,
reading.
dude.
Okay.
Remember his party?
Reading during work, man. I just
And-
stand there for 8 hours. It's not that hard.
That's true. And
Does listening count?
Yes, listening counts.
Perfect.
sort of. But anyway,
Sort of.
It doesn't help you read better.
no, it doesn't. That's the problem. It's like
But, you are
you're getting the novel.
You're getting the information from the
knowledge
book, so.
or / the experience of going
So
through
you
the
might as
story.
well just go on to Spark Notes and just read that instead, because you're getting the knowledge just faster and easier. I think.
No, it's not faster. I can read faster than someone reads to me.
No, not Spark Notes is like a summary.
Right.
You can't
talking-
tell me you
I'm
can read a full book
You were
faster.
you
than-
were likening Spark Notes to listening to a book.
No, I'm saying it's the same idea.
The idea
just
of
get
getting
the material.
Yeah, getting the stuff.
Yeah,
I get
it's,
what he's
it's
saying.
not read. Although there are non-paid for, like free readings of books that are out there.
What movies did you watch this week?
All right, so I watched Yojimbo and Sanjuro, both awesome. I think Yojimbo was a little bit better, although the ending to Sanjuro
The ending
was
of
phenomenal.
Sanjuro when he cuts the dude.
And
It's
he's
like, yeah, it's great.
That was awesome. I watched. Let's see. I watched Spartacus a couple nights ago. It was. Really,
I'm Spartacus.
It was really,
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. It was really awesome.
No, you're not. You're Kaleb.
It was a really solid one. I watched The Graduate, which I think was probably the best one I've seen this year.
That's such a good movie. You've never seen that before. That's crazy.
No, I hadn't seen it before just now. And then
You're trying to seduce me,
yeah,
aren't you?
And then I watched Godzilla versus King Kong, which is easily the shittiest of the movies I've seen this year by a good margin.
Oh, the part where he like flips Godzilla over. Come on.
It was 2.5 is what I gave it.
Come on, man.
It was a generous 2.5.
It's a fun schlocky monster movie. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's fucking sweet.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Didn't King Kong win?
I think I gave it more than that. I think I gave it like 3, maybe.
That is the worst.
It's supposed to be a joke, though.
Oh.
The Godzilla one, I don't think is. So let's see. That was Yojimbo Sanjuro, Spartacus, The Graduate, Godzilla.
You missing one?
I'm missing 2, I believe.
Oh, they must be memorable movies.
What the fuck else did you watch? I remember seeing something on Facebook.
No, they are memorable movies. They were good. I just... All right, anyway, go on. Someone else.
It's alright, I can't remember the other movie I watched.
All right, so I'm keeping track on Twitter, so if you want to follow me, I'm at Joseph DeGollier. That's
I might as well post
DEGOLYER. True Lies was my first movie of the year, which I also watched. Also watched with Kaleb Schweiss.
That's
which
right.
was
I can never remember that movie's name.
It was an amazing movie.
okay.
It was perfect.
It was an absurd, ridiculous, stupid movie that was awesome.
It's so awesome.
You're fired.
The action in that movie was amazing, and Arnold is, of course, always watchable. What's her name? I forgot the actress's name. She's a big actress, too, and I can't remember her name. She kind of played a character who was not
that great.
She was dumb, female, doesn't know what she's doing when she's holding a gun, kind of. It was a very sexist role, and she was also really annoying, but at the same time, like, it set up a lot of stuff for Arnold to just be amazing. So, the movie, although morally repulsive, and I think it was on Wikipedia, it said it was cited as like, Muslim groups like hated the movie and all this other shit. Despite all that, it was just a fun watch. I also saw the documentary Visions of Light, which went through the history of cinematography, which I thought was really interesting.
Sweet.
I saw the French movie, The Rules of the Game.
Oh.
Which was like a comedy of manners type movie, and it's on a list, a whole bunch of lists of like greatest movies of all time. Mm-hmm. It's always really high up there. It was really well done. It wasn't a groundbreaking movie to me, and I certainly didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I wasn't in love with it.
Oh, I remember the other one that I don't remember. I looked it up, but
okay, what's the other movie?
It was the Cider House Rules. It's like a romance.
Oh, that's a beautiful movie.
It was really good. Yeah,
I love that movie.
That was one that Alexandria suggested, and I was like, oh my god, at first, but
I told you to watch that movie months ago.
I don't remember. Oh wait, maybe I do actually.
I said Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah, I remember because I was bitching about Tobey Maguire.
It's got
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
he's always
that
great.
movie is amazing. I love that.
It was really good. That's the other one I watched, so I'm only one behind as of today.
I saw the documentary Showrunners: The Art of Running a TV Show.
How long are these documentaries you're watching?
This was a full-length documentary. They're not TV documentaries.
It's a full-length documentary.
They're not TV documentaries. They're like a full-length documentary is like an hour and a half. At the least.
All right.
Yeah,
these are real
some
fucking
documentaries
movies.
go on.
It's fine.
Have you ever watched a documentary, Kaleb?
Yeah.
I have a feeling
One that's like half an hour?
No, I've watched documentaries. I'm just because there are some that are short, but it's a very intense.
I was like, I'm not watching like a Nova documentary.
What if I watched Flying Padre, the Stanley Kubrick, like 19-20 minute movie, his very first directed movie?
That's a short film.
Does that count though? Does that count as a film
for the year? It has to be at least 40 minutes long.
But don't you kind of want to watch that just to say you've seen everything that Stanley Kubrick has done? Because I feel like
it's
I'm driven
really
to that.
boring. It's on that DVD of that one movie you haven't seen yet.
Oh, the one that I'm waiting to see?
Yeah, the first Stanley Kubrick movie.
Oh, it's on that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's on that.
That's that one.
Dull.
That one and Barry Lyndon are the only two full length that I've got left. So,
yeah. And that one's hardly full length.
It's an hour. It's an hour long. Yeah.
Yeah. So according to the Screen Actors Guild or the Writers Guild, one of them has it as an hour and a half as a real movie, And
That's a little-
one of them has it as 40 minutes is a real movie. So.
Oh, I had a Buster Keaton movie.
The Academy puts a full length movie as over 40 minutes.
Oh, so the Sherlock Jr. on the list, not a full length movie.
No, it's like 27 minutes long.
I know. I watched it. So I was like, yeah, off the list, baby. I got time for that.
Okay, yeah. Right. Number 5 for me was King Kong versus Godzilla. Which I enjoyed watching very much.
I liked making fun of it. I kind of want to be on that episode of the Godzilla podcast.
Did you never see that one before, Joe?
I saw it when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it since then.
Okay.
So
same for me, so I was just wondering.
And then number 6 was the Battle of, or not the Battle, the Ballad of Narayama, which was about this old lady in this Japanese village, and like she really wants to go up to Narayama. And about halfway through the movie, you realize that that's where they just leave old people to die.
Oh,
up at the top of the mountain. She wants to die, and her son says, wait, we'll take you later. And then she has like a full set of teeth, that a really beautiful set of teeth, I guess. And like old people aren't supposed to have that. And she feels shame because people are calling her demon teeth in the village. And so she like takes this like, this stone bowl, and she bites down on the stone bowl
God.
to destroy her teeth.
Oh.
And then, of course, like a year passes, and it's really sad when the son carries her up the mountain to have her die. And like he starts going up there, and most people just leave the old person at a certain point in the mountain, and he decides to take her all the way. And that's when he sees the skeletons on the sides and all this other stuff. And then his mother's not talking to him, and he's like, please talk to me. And then he puts her down. He gives her the blanket. It starts to snow. And then she just waves him off, and he has to go away. And it's really sad. It's a really sad movie. And it's crazy. I know there's a remake of this movie from the 1980s that's supposed to be like an even better film. But this version of the movie from 1958, it was all in a staged environment, but they didn't try to hide that it was made in a studio, that it was like a staged thing. So all the lights and stuff, they're very unrealistic, and like, there'll be bright Technicolor, almost like bright greens, bright reds, and all this other stuff. So it's this very gorgeous artificial kind of movie. And there's these scene transitions where they'll be standing there, and then suddenly the back behind them, like it's on some kind of curtain, whatever the back painted thing is, it would just fall. And then it'd be the next scene. The camera would just shift over into a new thing.
Oh, cool.
The scene transitions were crazy, and it was beautiful, and yet are artificial. And then at the end of the movie, when it like goes forward in time to modern day Japan, it's the only time they have location footage the whole time. So it was like all on a stage, and there was like narration that was sung in between scenes and stuff like that. So it was an incredibly weird but very cool movie, and I really enjoyed it. And I suggest to go check it out if you got Hulu. It's on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah, well then I'll have to go check that out.
And then the 7th movie I saw this week was Mobsters and Mormons, which it's a local movie about a mobster who comes to Mormontown, and it's not that great. It's and we watched it in my script doctoring class as an example of a bad movie that we were figuring out in what ways the film could have been focused in a different direction to fix it.
All right, fair enough.
So, yeah, I had a good movie watching week.
Nice. So I got a couple I need to go watch, so get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I guess it's time to end the nude of the clan.
Just real quick update. I now have a Twitter account that you can follow.
Oh, thank God.
What's the Twitter account, Cameron?
So you can find me on Twitter at Nude Clan Cam.
That sounds like something else.
I know it does, but
I wonder if that URL is taken as well.
I know Cameron.
You should look later and then tell me.
So he's at Nude Clan Cam. You're at UFF Podcast. Kaleb Craig is at Obsidian Bah, B-A-H, and I'm at Joseph DeGolyer. That's D-E-G-O-L-Y-E-R. You can go to nudeclan.net, join our forums, talk to us on there. We will be on there if you want to talk to us. I mean, right now, this is a brand new show, so it's not like our other shows where we're going to have, like, places for people to talk about it. It's just kind of
Yeah, it's going to be completely static until you guys
Yeah, so come
in and
on.
make it active.
Come talk to us.
Yeah, say stuff.
We're just talking about games here. Like,
And
really.
movies and shit.
Pretty much anything, we'll talk about it.
So, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Wait, facebook.com.
/ nude. Oh.
Is it Nude Clan Gaming? Nude Clan?
Is it Nude Clan Gaming with nude spelled NEWD or
Yes,
something?
NEWD.
Okay, so you can look for us on Facebook as well.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week.
Live always in the nude.
Ooh.
Yeah!